So what's up, everybody? Good night. We got Master Kojo is otherwise engaged, but he'll be joining us in a few minutes. You probably can see him on screen, but he is doing his thing. But Seaway and I are here. We're ready. We're locked in, and we don't want to delay it any further. So we got to dive into this Love Island. The madness, the foolishness of it all. We're gonna have some hot takes. Some y'all might agree with me, but some hopefully y'all will, maybe cause a little controversy. But hopefully we'll all get on the same page at the end of the day. So, first of all, we'll just kind of get started with instant reactions. Please throw your comments in. Tell us what your initial thoughts of the last few episodes were. I've been on a roller coaster of emotions. My emotions, I've been caught up in emotions, trapped in a song, up and down on the roller coaster. Like I'm at Six Flags over here, trying to figure out, is Nick Alandria a thing? Is it not a thing? Now we got Nick and Sierra locked in. Is it real? I don't know. We got to figure it all out, and we'll dive into it. But I got my beautiful co-host up here with me right now. My my ride or die. What you think about the last few episodes, Seaway?
I'm sure I'm gonna make some of y'all mad today, and some of y'all are gonna agree with me. We're gonna see. I mean, I thought the episodes between this episode and last episode, I darn near want to kick everybody off the island, or what they say. I don't think I have many clients after these last couple episodes. This episode with the reading of the whatever, and the last episode with the twerking of it all. Yeah, there's a lot of people who I want gone. There's a lot of people who I want gone. And I mean the F ASAP off of this island. People think it's Friendship Island, Girl Code Island, reminiscing on my ex island. It's just I think we've lost the plot. We've lost the plot. How do you feel? Even I feel like I know how you feel, but
yeah, we have our daily, almost hourly debriefs, so I feel the same. I'm like, is this, what are we doing and why are we doing it? I'm thinking like, like this last episode just really pissed me off real bad, because I'm like, why are y'all making me defend Huda? And I know you kind of team Huda in and out, a little bit. Sometimes we get to tussling about Huda, but I just really felt like, we're just doing too much. It's like y'all had so many chances to get rid of Huda. Y'all could have got rid of her weeks ago when y'all plotted to get rid of my boy Jeremiah. I know you don't like him, so I'm not going to stay too long on the Jeremiah of it all. But, they had a chance. They could have just clipped them 1 and 2. But no, they want to keep her around, use her for when they want to use her. But now when they had this, they had the heart rate challenge, they all up in arms because Huda and Huda did apparently too much with Ace. It's like, and then Shelly wants to keep this, she wants to keep her strings tethered, to Chris at the same time. It's like, come on, like, give me a break. I just want Shelly to make a decision. Like, I think she's trying to, like, she's upset because, or maybe not upset, but like she's at a point in this whole situation where I think she's off on her strategy, because she's like, oh, Ace was kind of aloof in the beginning of their connection. He wanted them to remain open, but now he's ready to lock in and commit. But she's like, nah, I want to still see what's with Chris. Ma'am, you chose him. You had a chance to choose between Ace and Chris, and you said you don't want him. Huda did. They stayed together. You still want to nurture a connection. It's like, I don't know. Am I wrong for thinking like I just need Shelly to just let it go? Like, stop this a dream. Either do you want to really explore Chris, so you want to jeopardize what you have going with Ace to just see what might the possibility of something be with Chris? I don't know.
Yeah, I think because, and I'm starting to notice this, I think because as Black women, we go through so much as society, people are blindly trying to defend Shelly in a situation where it's indefensible. And when I tell you, I am always rooting for everybody Black, and I'm always team Black girl. But Shelly thinking that she can have 2 men in the island and now she gonna mess around and have no man in the island. Like, it's crazy to me. The only way that she was even gonna, people keep forgetting, the only way Shelly was even gonna be able to juggle both of these men is if somebody brought Chris back. Somebody had to bring Chris back for Shelly to be even able to entertain Chris or Ace. Shelly chose Ace, but she still wanted to have Chris there, so Huda brought Chris back. And of course, Huda needed somebody, but she could have went with Mr. I'm So Dominant. Like, if she really wanted to bring somebody back, she could have went with Mr. So Dominant. Nobody wanted that man, but she picked Chris so they could bring both back. And I feel like Shelly has completely lost the plot. Completely lost the plot. You can't have Ace and you can't have Chris. And I don't even understand what the strategy is. If you're mad that Ace was playing around and you want to punish him, you should have picked Chris. That's what we all wanted you to do. Ace been playing around on this island this whole time. That was your opportunity to pick Chris and tell Ace and his little midget legs to go to hell. Instead, you picked Ace, but you want to claim Chris? I don't understand how that's defensible. And then everyone keeps wanting to talk about what Huda did. Huda's a crash out. Huda's crazy. What the hell does that have to do with this right now? What does Huda being a crash out and Huda being crazy have to do with the fact that Shelly thinks she gonna dictate two niggas on the island? Then they talk about if you call Shelly a mean girl and you call Alandria a mean girl, you're a colorist. How do we get to these places? How about I don't like the fact that Shelly can't make up her god dog mind, and I feel like Alandria is an effing mean girl. And Sierra fake behind. Like, come on now.
We stressing them out. Some of the people is stressed out.
They literally said if you got a problem with Alandria and Shelly right now, you're a colorist. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me.
Somebody said not the tomatoes. Tell us those are apples, Emily. Not tomatoes. Yeah. Emily, don't give us can we just bring down the strength in the room, to quote David from Ready to Love? Can we bring down the strength in the room just a little bit? Guys, it's okay. It's all right. Like, can we do a collective breathe? Like, it's all right. I'm saying just because we see something wrong that Shelly is doing doesn't mean we want to throw her out the door. Like, we're done with her. We're finished. She's the worst person in the world. It's like she just did a miscalculation. It's okay to call her out on that. I still love the Chocolate Sisters. There's nothing wrong with that. We're still
I definitely
here.
don't feel like what Shelly's doing is like throw off the island worthy. I think the problem is that what is mostly agreed upon is that Alandria has to go. Alandria needs to get the F ASAP off of the island. And the problem is the fact that Alandria and Shelly are Beavis and F and Butthead about all of this stuff. And people are just saying all three of y'all can go. You, Alandria, Shelly, Alandria, and Sierra. That's the problem. I do feel like Shelly deserves a redemption arc. She deserves to be able to bounce back from whatever she got going on right now. But Alandria needs to get the hell on.
Yeah, I said it in the last live that we did. I said I'm really ready for Alandria to pack it up. Only because, and it has nothing to do with her beauty, her looks. I just think she's Delulu, like this. It's unfortunately there's nobody here for her, And as much as she says she's available and open to find connections, unless they're gonna ship in another bombshell at this rate, who is there for her? There's nobody here. Everybody's either locked in or uncommitted. And nobody wants to, nobody is there for her. And I think it's all right. Yes, you want Shelly to have a love triangle, but a love triangle consists of three people and one of them, two of them willing to vie for one. So right now she has a love no triangle because the only person willing to fight for her is Ace. The only person that is gunning for her is Ace. The other person that y'all want in that triangle, Chris, is locked in with Huda because he doesn't see energy coming forward from Shelly because Shelly wants to be chased. And Chris is not willing to chase her. So yes, she deserves to have a love triangle. Give her sister a love triangle and let all the men, chase after her. And let her see that. You just need the men to do it. And right now there's nothing to call two things. Okay, so you don't have a triangle anymore, so we can't have it. So I think we just need to, just do a collective sigh and just be willing to say, Shelly, you just probably miscalculated because you didn't put enough on the hook for a guy like Chris to be willing to chase you.
And can we talk about the hypocrisy? I think also what gets lost is the fact that they keep saying that they sent Hannah home because she got a chance to find connections and she wanted to experience that. So my question is, why did you save Alandria after a man told her he didn't want her about 5 billion times when Coco actually could have explored things with Chris, with maybe Taylor, maybe anybody, but Alandria was sent home.
Shoot, fly me out. I'd explore with Coco. Coco was top tier for me. Woo.
So my thing is, people keep asking like, y'all sent Hannah home, but then when it was good for the Mean Girl clique, in my opinion, especially Alandria and Sierra, then all of a sudden then we're saving Alandria. It doesn't make any god dog sense. Alandria's man, the only man she's really had this entire time, stood on another girl's heart or opened another girl's door, or whichever it was, I can't even remember, and told her that he didn't want to be with her. Yes, she was saved for what? First production saved her, then they save her. I'll never understand.
Right. So I think, we talk about this often. Like sometimes things come to a point, right? So we're at the point where Shelly needs to make a decision. And then the part that's really like, it's just not, the math just is totally, we got like, it's girl math. I'm sorry. It's girl math where she thinks like, oh, I want to hold on to Chris. I don't want Huda to kiss Chris. Huda can't engage with Ace in a challenge. She did too much. Now I want to talk about Jeremiah. I want to talk about how Huda was possessive over Jeremiah. It's like, y'all, like, can we have a linear thought process? And this is the part where I'm saying, and again, I've been on Huda's neck since we started talking about this. I really don't like her energy. I think she needs to go heal. She's not the worst person in the world, but she needs to heal because she's manipulative. She talks crazy, all of that stuff. However, we cannot ignore that they have all sat around, talked with her, smiled in her face, said all this stuff to her. But then when it comes to standing on business, now y'all want to divulge every problem that you've had with her. That's not cool. Don't do in an argument. Don't do that to me. And Siwe and I always talk about this. We hate if we have an argument like I just did something to you today, and you're like, Sean, I don't like this, and then you start running down a list of everything I did from you since 1922. Like that's it. Yeah. You just can't do that. Yeah, you can't bring history. Like, why are you bringing historical facts in when we talking about what just happened? If you want to talk to her about, hey, I don't like what you did with Ace, she was willing to own that, deal with that, call her out for it, resolve your differences. But then don't start the dog piling. That's the part I don't like. And lastly, before we jump, because we got to get into our girl Amaya Papaya and how they did her dirty too. I just want to say, like, I'm cool off for Alandria dropping that. Oh well, what you kissing? You was kissing Chris. So since you want to talk about everything, nah, Alandria. Where's that energy with you and Taylor? I just didn't like it. What'd you think about that, Siwe?
I think Alandria is fake as hell, and she also kind of, people say that Huda's manipulative. Well, Alandria is quicker than Huda. She's smarter than Huda. And so Huda is a little bit young, and I don't really feel like she knows who she even needs to be talking to, because I don't know why Huda even thought that she could tell Alandria anything at all, because Alandria has been sneak dissing her for it feels like 2-3 episodes straight. And so, but Alandria knows that Huda don't, ain't as quick as her, so she let her talk and then spilled her tea. I didn't like that. If you were gonna spill her tea, what I need you to say is, Huda, I saw you kissed Chris, and let me spill my own tea, and I was tonguing down Nick's soul ties. So I'm a little wrong, and I feel like Huda a little wrong. But instead, you spilling some tea like your hands ain't dirty. It's just out of pocket. And what's the big deal? Huda is her connection. Huda, Chris is her connection. She's the one in the couple with him. So Alandria just seems like a bitter Betty. She needs to go.
Yeah, so hopefully y'all can agree that Alandria was out of pocket for the bringing up that kiss comment, because it's like, I don't see why, I don't see what the point. There was no point in doing that, and it was just only to be, just to add on to what they were already doing. Miss Honey, what do you mean we don't watch the show? What do you think we're doing? You think we're making this up as we go along? Of course we watch the show. Yes, this might be our first season, but at the end of the day, we're calling out people for the stuff that they're doing. It's like, that is, if we're talking about standing on business, it should be, okay, I'm going to say some things and make some things clear. Like, you should be making things clear. Right. So where there was no clarity, you're making it clear. It's not about dropping tea, spilling somebody's secrets, talking about something that somebody told you in private, and now I'm going to tell the whole group. That's not. Do we not know? Do we not know what standing? That's what I thought standing on business. Am I wrong? Like, standing on business should be, hey, maybe I'm a little unclear about this, so now I just need to stand in the truth of it. Not, you told me a secret yesterday and I'm going to tell the whole group in front of everybody to try to make you look bad.
Somebody had a good point. Where is it? It's up there. Oh, Baby Love. I wonder if the girlies were mad that Jeremiah was off limits. And I think that's a good thing to bring up. I think this Huda Shelly situation and what's going on with Alandria is a lesson for everybody. Instead of trying to point fingers, let's all learn a lesson here. Huda drew her boundaries, whether they were toxic boundaries or not, with Jeremiah very clear. She made it very obvious, and she didn't leave no room for error, right? And she got what she wanted. Everybody else acquiesced to her. They didn't fight back, whatever. Now, I feel like I think there's a lot of resentment about doing something that you didn't want to do. I think they acquiesced, but maybe they didn't really want to. And now they're in a situation where they're drawing loose boundaries / no boundaries, and they're trying to control what Huda do. You can't be mad that somebody drew boundaries and you acquiesced and now you're resentful. I think that's a big part of it. Maybe they're mad that they acquiesced all of her demands and whatever, and now they feel like she's supposed to do everything that they did. You didn't draw the same boundaries. Just like Alandria over here yelling and screaming because she expected things out of Taylor that she didn't ask for. I wonder. I'm not saying they wanted Jeremiah, but I feel like they have there's a bit of resentment about that.
Right, because I think she's upset, like, oh, well, we respected you. And I mean, a part of me gets that. But if that was the case, why did you keep her? Like I said 5 minutes ago, if y'all were upset that she wasn't playing by the rules, or if maybe y'all would have liked to do things a particular way, why did you keep her? Only, and this is the thing, is you now you want to bring it up until when she's not doing what you want to do. So when she's not doing what you want her to do, now you're pissed off about something you never complained about. I just don't think. I think that's you're not being completely honest. At the end of the day, it's like, if you want her gone, if you're pissed, do it now. That's my thing. It's like, do it now. Okay, so y'all not seeing eye to eye. The next chance you get, don't save her. Because I'm tired of the sneak dissing, you want to bring back, you want to go into historical things that took place that you never addressed with her. Did any of y'all all be talking and being girls? I'm sick of the girls. We're girls. You're on Love Island. The whole goal is to leave with somebody in a couple and get the money. It's not about being a girl's girl, because all that drives is people chirping, somebody telling you something, y'all getting together in y'all little, things. Like, y'all not just, if y'all should be upfront and transparent and be like, hey, listen, Huda, all respect to you. This is Love Island. We've been here 1 week. I think we all should be able to explore. As much as you might like Jeremiah, hey.
Yeah, they do. They went around with all that I love you, all that mess. And it's all fake to me because literally, Alandria, you supposed to say Sierra's your friend and you completely tonguing Nick down in soul ties. Come on now. Every challenge, people are doing the effing most. The only difference thing about Huda is Huda got body and she knows how to clap them heels. Everybody does the most every single challenge. I don't want to hear it. And that's the reason why, even though Shelly, again, has no reason to be hating on Huda, because Shelly's beautiful in her own right, she's a beautiful girl, it's coming off like you're hating. And I hate that for Shelly, because Shelly ain't got no reason to do it. But when you singling one girl out for stuff that everybody is doing, it looks crazy. It looks like you're actually mad that Chris won't chase you, but he willing to be with Huda. And that's silly. No, Miss Honey, I'm not blindly supporting Black women. I do enough of supporting women even when they're wrong. There's too many of y'all who are supporting Shelly because y'all lack accountability like Shelly. And then be in the comments talk about we supporting Huda because we act like Huda. No, it's about accountability. Huda gets called out all the time. Huda gets clocked for her tea. Shelly's out of pocket. People just need to call Shelly out of pocket. Not blindly supporting Shelly. I don't think Shelly should be voted off. But Shelly's dead wrong. And we lose our credibility not actually saying that Shelly's dead wrong. Acting like Shelly is not dead wrong is the reason why we have no accountability. It's just crazy. She's wrong. It's okay to be wrong.
Yeah, I that's the part that is just kind of like, that's kind of bothering me a little bit. It's like, we got to be able to say like, hey, she might have overplayed her hand a little bit. Hey, I think she overplayed her hand a little bit. And then the way they're going about it, it's like now they want to just kind of like, use this as a way to dogpile on her. And I just feel like this ain't it. Case in point.
People keep saying Shelly's been calm. I don't give a F if she's been calm or not. Her actual grievance in this moment is wrong. What does it matter that she's been calm? Shelly is actually upset over something that's bullcrap. She's mad because she's trying to claim 2 niggas. What does it matter that she's been wrong, that she's been calm? Y'all act like she going off on Huda for something else. She's going off on Huda because she's trying to claim 2 niggas. I'm just trying to figure out how do y'all defend that?
Well, it looks like we have some, we got a few people backstage that want to have their say. So I'm gonna call up.
I just needed to come with logic. Like let's just come with logic and no.
let them come with. Listen, let them come with whatever they want.
Straw man argument.
Look. Not you with the straw man. All right, I'm about to add you now, Miss Honey. Hey, Miss Honey, welcome to the panel.
Hi guys. I appreciate your opinions. You guys are going extremely hard for people who maybe haven't seen seasons past, and that's okay. I just wanted to put my 2 cents out there. So when it comes to Love is Blind, Shelly could have potentially had a love triangle again for consecutive episodes uninterrupted. And I feel like historically Black women don't get to have their moment without someone kind of stepping in and being like, well, I look good. Well, I'm hot. What does she have that I don't have? You guys are saying like they should have told Huda and they should have this to Huda. Huda does not listen. How many times have we seen, we've seen her like she monopolized the whole beginning of the season, made it the Jeremiah and Huda show. She would come to them, not even kind of check in and say, hey, what are you guys chatting about? I'm going through it right now. Can you guys be there for me? She wouldn't even check their temperature. She would immediately just start this person wants this and this person wants that. And Huda also used to, for Amaya, for Ciara, for Iris, she would be like, I don't trust her. I just don't trust her. I don't like her. I think she's malicious. Like she would literally, her mental health would create all these webs of like these weird scenarios. Who wants to be caught up in Huda's mess? I feel like Shelly did the right thing by not having that drawn out conversation because somebody like Huda, they're not going to ever listen. They only worry about themselves. And you see it in the episodes where she's like, sometimes I do what I want and I don't think about others. She's literally clocking her own tea and people are still feeling bad for Shelly. And like, I get it. You guys have every right to be like, oh, she's, she needs to this, she that. But it's like, why can't she have her moment uninterrupted? This is the game. This is how it goes. And I feel like nobody is looking out for her. And then you said something earlier about you're not going to blindly support Black women, which I feel like that's correct, right? But Shelly has shown nothing but grace, nothing but just like understanding for everybody. So if she has a little moment where she has a little thing in there and she wants to kind of see how both goes because Chris is her type, then that she should be allowed to do that for multiple or at least 24 hours or at least one more episode, right? The fact that this episode kind of like ruined her gameplay, like her being like, well, maybe if I was ugly, or her kissing the guy, like all those things, she could have waited a little bit more to let them have their moment, because you don't have to put 20 on 10. You don't have to come and say, girl, this is for us, I got you, girl. You don't have to do all that. You could say, hey, may the best woman win, let's see where this goes. You know what I'm trying to say? So I feel like Huda putting all of that on it and then moving how she's moving, she had every right to call her out. But then how it went down, I didn't like that. Alandria has been like kind of the bone carrier the whole season, and that's kind of annoying. So that's just my 2 cents. Thanks for listening.
I do
Of
want to ask
course.
you. I do want to ask you a couple questions, just a couple
Yeah,
points to what you said.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so I think that if Shelly was able to have her love triangle, I don't think anybody would have a problem with her having her love triangle. However, what I want you to explain to me, where
hmm
was Huda supposed to go when Huda was responsible for bringing Chris back? And the only
So
way
Hood's not going anywhere. She just has to kind of pace herself, which we all know she's not capable of because she's very selfish, right?
pace herself in a couple, like if she's in a
Yeah,
couple,
you so in seasons past, there's been boring seasons. So they'll sit there and they'll go to the person and say, "Hey, I have feelings for your partner. I'm interested in kind of exploring that. I just wanted to check in with you first to see if that's fine." And they'll be like, "Yeah, it's still early days. I just want to see what's going on. You're free to go explore that connection." There's kind of like this back and forth where they kind of ask permission to do certain things. So it's not like a matter of like someone going anywhere, but it's a matter of like, don't move so fast so that this person isn't that locked in. And then I really didn't like how Chris was like, that was my story to tell. Oh, I'm closed off. I'm focused on Huda now. Cause he was literally saying like he was gonna remix a song of Sharia more for Shelly. So it's like, you guys aren't seeing that Shelly is dealing with two people, Chris and Huda, who are putting so much stank on their loyalty to her and so much stank on their commitment to her and interest in her, and then at the first sign of like maybe an issue, or at the first sign of maybe like a problem, it's like, oh girl, it's over now. And I don't like that. I feel like she should have had her time to really bask in her moment of having options and having a roster and being chosen. And I know that Little Black Book always kind of points out, which was very helpful, that Shelly is a manipulator. So is Ace, so is Huda. They use manipulation and gaslighting to kind of prove their points. So like I'm not 100% on Shelly's side, but I do see that things should have been paced out.
yeah, because I think when you said that, Shelly has shown nothing but, and then you said all these great things, I
Yeah,
would
she is a
say,
manipulator.
I
Yeah.
would say,
Mhm.
I just don't agree with that. I think Shelly
Mhm.
has shown
Mhm.
herself to be a scammer. I think Shelly
Mhm.
has been a fake scammer since she's got on here. And I also believe that you are who you are aligned with. And I think Ace also has shown low character. And Shelly has been right along with Ace, either acquiescing to his low character or not saying anything.
Well,
And so
my contribution to that is that there's a big six in there. It's all the OGs that include Ace, Nick, um, Taylor, Shelly, Alandria, and Ciara's with Nick, so she's obviously part of that big six. So it's a lot of it is gameplay, a lot of it is ego, and like I'm kind of running the house, so nobody needs to, because nobody's touched Ace since the start. So a lot of it has to do with like they're kind of running the house. That's why Amaya is getting so much hate because this big six is running the house, and Amaya is obviously a fan favorite, so she has the potential to kind of steal their hard work, if that makes sense. So a lot of it is like kind of her ego, her pride, all that stuff too as well, because they're the ones that are kind of like the big fish of the house. Does that make sense? And it's
No,
also gameplay. There's $100,000 on the line.
exactly. So if it's
Yeah.
gameplay, then why am I gonna mess up? I'm gonna get possibly
Yeah,
thrown
she has
outside
every right.
and not actually pursue things with Chris to
Mm-hmm.
let Shelly have her moment. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
even in our conversation, I think we kind of hear how that sounds. It doesn't make any sense. Like there's $100,000 on the line. This is not episode 4. This is episode 26. I don't have
But
time
if
for
Shelly never
that.
checked Huda and was like, girl, I love you, everything's fine, we're back cool, I love you, you're fine, everything's fine, don't worry. Because that's what Hannah did. Hannah kind of like was passive aggressive with Huda. She didn't really stand on business. You have to stand on business with somebody as selfish as Huda and somebody as self-centered as Huda and somebody who weaponizes their tears and tries to get sympathy from everybody. You have to stand on business with them, because I know if she didn't and kind of swept it under the rug like she's done in the past, she would have tapped on Ace and been like, hey, can I chat with you? So how did you like that challenge? I was really trying to get your heart rate up. That's just the person that Huda is. And I just feel like they kind of have to stand on business with her.
I'll let somebody else go, Sean. I know you're gonna probably.
I know we got NMTV up. Are you on?
Yeah, can I just go last? I'm just cooking dinner right now. Sorry, guys.
All right. I'll put you down. Let me know when you just put in the private chat when you're ready, okay?
All right, all right.
All right, cool. Joe Patrick, you there?
Hello.
Hey, Joe.
What's up? How are you, man?
Good, good. You?
Very good.
Good. You want to tell us your thoughts? What you thinking?
Yes, sir. I want to address the main topic, Shelly and Huda. I don't know why Shelly love to be in. Just she want people to pursue her too much. Is episode 27? It's time for her to lock in with Ace. I just don't get it. Why she need Chris to continue to pursue her? It doesn't make sense. Chris did at least try to pursue her, but he knows that Shelly is not going to choose Chris over Ace. So it doesn't make sense for Chris to continue to do so. So that's why he's saying, okay, let me focus on Huda and let's try to build a connection there. I don't know why it's so difficult for her to get it. And also for Shelly to be mad at Huda. It doesn't make sense because Akasa, Huda asked Shelly clearly, I'm interested in Chris and I'm going to bring him to the villa so me and you can explore him. It was simple. So I don't know why she's acting now like Huda is trying to do something behind her back. Also, let me address Alandria too. Why she needed to say that about the case of Chris and Huda. Like, it just, last episode, it just pissed me off. I'm angry right now.
Oh my God, you're
Amaya,
angry.
listen, Amaya, if Amaya doesn't win the 100K, I'm going to take a flight to Fiji
Everybody
right now.
loves Amaya.
Amaya needs to win by any means necessary. It doesn't
Uh-oh,
matter.
Joe. Oh, we
I love
remember
it.
you from last week, Joe.
Yes, sir.
He is an Amaya supporter. I'm with you on that, bro, because Amaya
Yes,
got
sir.
done dirty.
Is
Yes,
this
sir.
the same Joe that was asking me all my questions who had me on the stand?
Exactly. He
Yes,
had
sir.
you on the
Yes,
ropes.
sir.
Uh-oh.
He had me on the stand.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Amaya needs to win. Either Amaya or Huda, but I want Amaya to win.
We don't disagree there, Joe. We agree on that.
And
Now I don't
Huda
know if I want Huda to win, but yeah,
and
Huda
Huda,
might
Amaya
as well
definitely.
win, these people learn a lesson and stop letting people trick
yes.
you off your spot.
No, 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 not Huda.
And
Are
I'm
you guys
sorry.
gonna talk about the Taylor and Alandria thing? Because I really think Taylor is like avoidant and a child, and I love how like Alandria was projecting
Yeah, we'll wait
like
for Kojo to come back for that because he can break down all the avoidant, dismissive, passive aggressive, all that stuff. That's not my wheelhouse.
Alandria and Taylor are a perfect mix of a lot of things that are wrong. But
yeah,
anyway.
because she's emotionally stunted as like an older sibling. She kind of has that like general president general kind of vibe, and like Taylor just wants to play all day. And it's like, I like that Clark is coming and she's a breath of fresh air for him. Like, I'm not, are you guys team Taylor or you guys feel like he did her dirty?
I
I
think
don't think he did her
he
dirty.
wasn't honest.
Oh, but wait before we go there. We need to
Of
put
course.
a
Sorry about
we,
that.
we we need to put a nice bow on this Huda scenario. And
Yeah, of
one last
course.
thing was everybody is in support of Nick, but Nick is another one. Is he part of the girls true? Because
She's a
how
mean
you
girl
gonna
too.
he
He's a
he
mean
pulled
girl.
because he pulled her. He's the worst in my opinion because he pulled her for a chat, gave her support, told her I appreciate you, and they had a nice kumbaya moment. She's like, took some accountability, and then he sneak dissed her on the standing on business.
Have you guys seen the videos in that where they split that scene where she's like, "Oh, I appreciate you for pulling for a chat," and she's like, "Yeah, I really like you," and then it fast forward to the challenge. Like that was so two faced. But Nick has been used a lot by the producers to like do certain things. Like he's part of the Ace clan, and then he's with Alandria. Then he's doing the locking in with Sierra. Then he's kind of on the Huda bandwagon. Like I want Nick to win. That's my guy.
Oh no! Come on now, come on. Oh, Miss Honey, just so we take 2 steps forward,
Hey, we
you
don't have to
you
agree.
going
And I think that's
two
good
steps
that we
back
don't
with us.
agree.
I
I
know. I'm
think
just
it's
not. I'm just not
good.
following. I'm just not following. I don't mind the
Yeah,
disagreement. You done lost me.
He's gonna
yeah.
win.
It's like
I don't
how
know if
we
you heard Nick.
Okay,
how
so
did we get
he
here?
is messed up for that. He is messed up for that.
He's a
He's
messed up
gonna win.
individual in general.
Point blank
The reason why
period.
he's with Sierra is because nobody else wanted him at the end. He's
Mm-hmm.
horrible.
He's not going to
He's
Mm-hmm.
literally horrible.
And a show plant for sure.
And his 30 to 45 seconds of hunching. Come on,
Y'all
bro.
going in on Nick and
That
these.
is so
No better.
nasty. Did you
He's
see how she was
overly
like, "You
freaked
guys
out.
need to deal with it"? That's so
Nick
nasty.
is
I don't
Nick
want to
is
hear y'all
overly
hunch.
freaked out, and he needs to go. He gotta go.
Dangerously horny.
Him,
Dangerously horny.
him and Sierra, they ain't about nothing. Just bumping their gums.
Mm-mm. They're both hippies, which I'm glad they found each other.
I know we got NMTV. He's you finished cooking your dinner, bro? You ready?
Yeah, yeah. I'm here. How are you guys doing?
We good. We good.
Right.
I just want to say I appreciate all you guys for getting me on. Just new to being on live, so I appreciate you guys so much.
So let us know your thoughts. What you thinking about the Huda, the Nick, the whole dynamic, the Sierra and Ace of it all?
So I have two things to say. One on Shelly, one on Amaya. So on Shelly, first of all, I don't understand why people are mad at her because I feel like okay, the way Shelly is addressing it now is it doesn't make sense, but the reason why she's so frustrated is because she's given Huda so much grace and given her the ability to maneuver how she wants to end the villa.
Thank you.
And now, at a time when she expects, you are my friend, you've claimed to be my friend, I've been here, I've held your hand, I've seen you go through all these things with all these guys, you've cried on my shoulder. And now, at the time when the fact that you're even saying it's a challenge doesn't make sense because as my calling a girl's girl and being a best friend, you should have thought I'm not gonna cross this line with Ace because this is Shelly's connection that she's getting to explore. And to make it worse as well, I know the Chris thing is like okay, Huda should be able to explore, but that also kind of rubs Shelly the wrong way because it's like why would you because Chris didn't come in the villa and say he wants to explore Huda. it was more of like Shelly. He always kept an even to Huda. He was like Shelly is the connection I want to explore, and Huda just latched onto Chris because she thought, okay, if I if I could, woo Chris, I could kind of be able to form a connection. It didn't seem very genuine, if that makes sense.
What? So
Yeah, because sorry.
are you saying that Chris should keep pursuing Shelly, knowing that at the end of the day she's going to choose Ace over him?
I
No.
don't. I
So
don't
in
think.
other seasons, they still pursue people. Like for example, Elon was still pursuing Ciara. Does Elon need to stop pursuing Ciara because she's gonna choose Nick? No, like that's the
No.
game. It's very light. It's very chill. It's very um, you mean so much to me. I have great chats with you. I'll chat with you tomorrow, and that goes on for weeks. So it's like for them not to allow that is just really sad. I really like your feedback, whoever was talking.
Oh yeah, it's me. Yeah, I feel like when Chris came into the villa, he there was no. It was not a guarantee that Chris was gonna lose, but I feel like with Elon,
Yeah.
it was a guarantee he was gonna lose, and he still
And he still
pursued
pursued her. Yep.
Shelly. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
Chris came in and he was like, okay, just because of my ego, I'm not gonna do
Yeah.
this fight back and forth with Ace.
Yeah.
Shelly just have him, and I'm just gonna step away because I
And
think
even
Shelly
for
is right
even
because
Chris,
when they
y'all want
were
One,
Chris to be a
one person
goofy?
at a time, y'all.
Y'all
sorry,
wanted Chris to be a
yeah,
goofy? Chris, does Chris look like a goofy to y'all? Chris already knew that what type of time Shelly is on.
Right.
People be talking about what Huda is. Shelly ain't much better than her. Shelly is manipulative. Shelly is underhanded, and Shelly and Ace done. They're locked in and ain't no splitting
hmm
up. If Chris went in, Chris ain't he from around the way. I could tell. He already knew that Shelly was wasting his time. He
but
wasn't.
what about Charlie and Hannah? Charlie handled the whole Pepe situation with such grace, which is how Chris should have handled it. You're exploring this other option. You made out with this guy. I still like you. I'm still in it with you. I'm still locked in with you. Then Charlie ends up getting sent off.
but
We're
wait,
just
guys, can we
my
stay on the Shelly topic just real
no,
quick?
I'm giving an example. I'm giving a
Okay.
parallel.
Okay.
I'm giving a parallel of how Chris was supposed to maneuver since that was her question. And I just want to finish with like that's just how the game has been. Nobody has these big overtures and big feelings. They always kind of keep it cute. And I feel like this season people are moving way too fast and not letting other people have their moments with their connections.
But you need to remember, is only 1 week left. It's no time to keep doing it, to keep playing, to go back and forth. Like, come on, Chris needs to focus on Huda.
I
That's it.
asked somebody that, is the finale coming up?
It's
I'm,
No,
I'm
they have
waiting for
like
movie night.
30. They have like I think 30 plus episodes. I think it's like
Right. Like
37
it's
or
like
38.
36 or 30. Yeah. So like we still have movie night. We still have all these things.
Yeah.
Bombshells are going to keep getting dropped because Ciara and Nick's relationship is definitely going to be tested if they don't get voted out
Mhm.
tomorrow. But yeah, we have so many other opportunities to
Lovely
test
Girls are
stuff.
July 13th. So we have a couple of weeks. I also feel like Hannah is a far more authentic person. And I think there was actually a real opportunity for both those connections.
Exactly.
I don't think Hannah was
She's
playing.
right. She's right. Authenticity matters. You're right when it comes to
And I
those
think
love
people can feel
triangles.
that. I also
Yeah,
But it's
feel
that's
like
it's
Ace,
true.
Ace the midget man and everybody,
See,
they
wait.
they change the nature of the game.
I'm a leader. I'm a leader. Well, sir, can you be a
but
flirter?
if I could say something on the Shelly thing as well, I think Shelly, Olandria, and Sierra feel guilty about the Hannah situation because
Of
they let
course.
Hannah go while they could have sent Huda home.
No, that was
And
not who they could have sent home. It was I
Iris and Amaya.
or Maya.
Hmm
Huda.
Y'all are stressing me
oh,
out. I'm
okay,
overstimulated. I need one person at a time.
I had it corrected.
yeah,
Are we good?
yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, just too many episodes. Yeah. But even in the like, what do you guys think about the Jeremiah situation? What Shelly was saying that no one got the opportunity to explore Jeremiah, but when it's now week 3, I think week 3 or week 4, and Huda still doesn't know the boundaries of, yeah, let me
Yeah.
not go crazy on Ace. What do you guys
hmm
think about that?
But
Because she's performative. She likes to like be awkward and weird and look back at everybody, and I think the guys do it too. So I think she's trying to be like the guys because she is a gym bro. But when the guys are doing their things, they'll look back at the guys, they'll point at them like, "Hey, look at me." And I think that's what Huda was doing too, where she's like, "I'm gonna do the stripper move on his, lower regions. Then I'm gonna put my thing in his face, which is crazy. Then things get awkward, everything stops, and they're still going. It's like, no, absolutely not."
All right, so that's your final, Miss Honey, your final 30 seconds on Huda, because we're gonna move on. Give
Nice.
everybody their last 30 seconds.
Nice. Wait,
Um,
what's your feedback? What's your feedback?
no, I'll go last. I'm
Okay.
overstimulated. Joe, what's your last 30 seconds?
Not you overly freaked out.
yeah,
I love her.
I think since the lady gave Huda they served her once, they need to let her grow. She's growing. So if you forgive somebody, you cannot bring back her past. What happened with Jeremiah happened the past. She's changing. So they have the opportunity to kick Huda off. They didn't do it. So now that she's changing, I don't want to hear about the Jeremiah thing. That happened almost 10 episodes ago. Like, move on. That's it.
Got it. NMTV, what you got?
I think that's unfair on what the last speaker just said, because
It's
why are we
not.
telling Shelly now to move on when
No.
wait, can I finish please? Yeah, why are we asking Shelly to move on when her situation is she's addressing her situation now, even though it took so many episodes. But you see as well with how the last speaker addressed Huda is like, okay, Huda has grown, let's move past it, like it's not a big deal. But I think even just understanding Shelly's character type, some people don't tolerate disrespect as much as some people do. I feel like with her, she gave Huda so much grace that now this is the last straw, and she can't keep on having to address things with her.
Appreciate you. Seaway, what's your final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm one of those people where, and maybe this is the Sagittarius in me. I know not all of you into zodiacs. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm moving on, I'm moving on. If I didn't address it then, I'm not going to address it now. I also don't keep score with people. Like, if I'm cool, I'm cool. I'm not keeping score. And I feel like, when you start keeping score and then you want to let out later, it's going to come off crazy. You could have valid issues. Maybe Shelly had valid issues with Huda. I'm not saying she didn't, but it all coming out with this challenge, it feels outsized, and it just doesn't feel like it matches the moment. On top of the fact that everybody on this island is very hypocritical, with the exception of maybe a few like Amaya, and the standards are not consistent. Everyone's trying to hold people to different standards at different times. And that's also why it sounds crazy, because you can't be talking about girls, but you're okay when Alandria kissed Nick from Sierra. Probably because you don't think Alandria is a threat to Nick.
Right.
And that's why, things were said that were said. Deg, would it be different if I was ugly? People didn't like that, but it's a valid question. Not calling Alandria ugly, I'm not saying that, but I don't think Sierra finds her to be a threat at all. So she cool with her kissing Nick. It's too many double standards. It's too many double standards.
Yeah, and my take overall is I just feel like you got to deal with things as they arise and don't build cases against people. You're not the feds. Don't build a case and then try to, then you try to like rack up a RICO charge. We see how that went. Sometimes it don't always work out, or your charges aren't going to stick. So that's why you need to deal with things, because you're not the feds. I'm not saying the feds did anything wrong. I'm saying we are not. We're humans, right? Dealing with human relationships. So you need to address things as they come up. So if you don't like what somebody did, you need to address it in the moment and don't stockpile it, wait for another chance, and then you just all on top of them with everything, and now you're hitting them with a barrage of information. I think that's an unfair way to go about trying to get something resolved, if that's what you want to do. If you just want to stockpile, you want to jump somebody, then you're going to jump them. So I feel like, hey, you had plenty of chances to address your issues with Huda. She should have done them in that moment. the stand on business was not the opportunity to, stockpile things collectively as a group. My opinion. Again, doesn't mean that Huda doesn't deserve, to get checked for the things that she did. She absolutely does. But I just feel like that forum, I'm just not rocking with that. We can move on to Joe's favorite person, old girl Amaya, because I really don't like, what Ace and Austin, and then, old boy from Manchester, getting in there,
Zach.
coming at her. So I just feel like we all, we just need to check ourselves. And I just don't like how this whole thing came off. So who wants to go first on their opinions on Amaya? And again, just a reminder, one person at a time. When the person is talking, you got about 2 to 3 minutes to get your point going. Nobody interrupt, and then it's the next person. So who wants to go first for Amaya?
Me.
All right, Joe.
Yeah. Amaya. Listen, when I watched last episode, and I saw those, especially when I saw that 5'6" Ace gang up on Amaya, I couldn't believe it. I thought, oh my God, when I see this man in person, I don't know what I'm going to do. Amaya, she's the most genuine person in the villa. No question asked. Yes, I understand. She's annoying sometimes. Yes, I get it. She's strong. She comes out strong sometimes. Yes, I understand that. But she's also one genuine love, which is maybe the only person that want genuine love over there. And when I saw, especially the other guy, the Zach guy, the Asian guy, like, bro, you had your opportunity to say what you feel about her when you guys were talking in private. Now you wanna jump up now in front of everybody? Like, bro, are you serious? Like, bro, why they do that? What Amaya has done to this guy for her, for them to have such a disdain for Amaya? I don't get it. Amaya is cute. Amaya has a beautiful soul, and again, Amaya deserves to win this 100K. She would win it. Amaya is the only winner this season. Any other answer is wrong. Amaya deserves love. Hopefully, Brian talks to Amaya, because I think that will be a cute couple. Amaya and Brian. They can get the 100K. I don't want Amaya with that guy. Amaya, if you get with that guy, you're not going to win. I cannot allow that guy to get 50K. Absolutely not. Or Amaya get single, win single, or with Brian. That's it. That's my opinion on Amaya.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Who's next? I think I put somebody backstage by accident. Oh, that was Miss Honey. Okay. She's back. Who's next on Amaya?
Like I mentioned earlier, I just wanted to address that there's kind of like a homeostasis and a vibe that they're trying to set in the villa. And I kind of coined the season as Depression Island because the OGs, the big six, they're not really letting nobody kind of create a different vibe. And I think Amaya threatens that homeostasis. So unfortunately, people are like, they look to Ace because he's pretty popular. And so they feel like they can, because, Zach was part of the Casa Amor, so they've seen the previous episodes. They already know that narrative. I just feel bad for Amaya for not knowing, because, like, once somebody knows your tea, they're going to keep pressing that button, right? A lot of this season is gameplay and all that stuff. So I feel like she needs to change the narrative of, like, yeah, I do cry a lot. Yeah, I'm a little bit much, but I'm a party girl. Like, I'm a fun girl. Like, she needs to change that narrative so that she can survive, because it is a lot. Like, I don't like, again, I'm big on like people's moments. Let people have their moment. So when Alandria was dumped by Taylor and was at risk to go home, Amaya's reaction was perfect for TV. And of course, you're on TV, you got to do your big one. That's what Shelly's doing. That's what all these people are doing. You got to do your big one. You got to do what you need to do to clip form, to become a meme, to be memorable. Her being like, Taylor, like, it was like, okay, yeah, you said that, but like, can we have the camera pan to Alandria and how Alandria feels? It's just like sometimes she's too much, and you need to read the room. You need to have some self awareness, and you kind of see that she does, because there was a moment where Austin got a text, and because her and Austin aren't really that cool, like they used to be in a couple, things are awkward with them. You didn't see her jump up and be like, "I got a text," or like kind of like steal his moment to announce it. So she is capable of some introspection and not talking and kind of quieting herself and not doing too much. So they felt like that was a safe opportunity to communicate with her, like, hey, these are the ways where you're doing a little bit much, and we'd like you to chill, because like we already have a vibe in the house, and you kind of bring this extra layer. Like he kept saying earlier, I'm overstimulated. I'm overstimulated. She has the ability to overstimulate, like we only heard a little bit of the babe stuff, but when Ace said his piece, it kind of turns out that she was kind of being like coming to them and kind of ruining the energy that they wanted to provide. Like she would go to Austin and say, I'm wearing this, so you wear that. Well, you didn't consider what Austin wanted to wear. When she went to when she was with Ace, she's like, you want me to cook for you? You want me to do this? You want me to do that? You want me to do that? Well, he didn't ask you to do that. He's kind of been cooking this whole time. Why don't you look at what's been going on and see where you fit in? And I feel like Amaya doesn't do that because she has her own agenda. Everybody has their own agenda. So I'm proud of her. I like her, but I do get what everybody else is feeling.
All right. Right on. You were right on spot on with your 3 minutes. Nailed it. And MTV, what you got on Amaya?
Okay. So first of all, I want to say, so I'm in this age bracket that a lot of these cast in. So I'm a Gen Z, and I love Amaya. I think she's amazing. I think she'd be great to date outside the villa. But in this 4 to 6 week period where people are meant to find connections in a short amount of time, I think her personality does come off way too strong. Because even like the last speaker said, like that moment when Olandria was getting kicked off and she kept on saying like Taylor, like she was doing way too much for the situation, and Zach was tapping her and being like, "Yo, Amaya, like relax, like calm down," but she just wasn't having it. I think for someone who you just meet someone for the first um for the first instant, and that's your first impression of her, it can come off as just like you don't have emotional control, you're not willing to, let's say, regulate yourself during difficult times, and it can be off-putting for a lot of guys. So I just feel like I do understand where a lot of the guys came from when they were talking about Amaya, but I feel like out of all the guys, I think in the beginning when Amaya first came in, I feel like Ace was very rude in his approach and how he was telling Amaya about it. But yeah, I feel like Amaya is a little bit too much for this like social experiment of 4 to 6 weeks of dating.
All right. Thank you. Seaway.
Do you know how old Iris is and how old Chris, Iris, and I'm sorry, I'm missing one. Chris, Iris, and Clark. Do y'all know how old they are? Does anybody know in the chat?
I think 22 to the 26 age bracket, I think.
Those three are?
Yeah, everybody in there, nobody's 30. Everybody's between the age of 20, 22, and like
No, but there's
28.
something important here. Chris is 27, okay. Iris is 25. Okay, no, that's Amaya is 25. Okay, I was just trying to see who was closer to 27. Chris is 27, Iris is 25. Okay. Here's my point here, because the Gen Z thing made me think. Unfortunately, especially a lot of these younger Gen Zs like Ace, who's 22, versus the 27-year-olds. I don't know if 27 is still millennial. I think they may be, or no, maybe not. Maybe they're older Gen Z. A lot of these younger Gen Z are iPad kids, and they just don't know how to communicate. Because what I'm seeing here is just a whole lot of people that clearly grew up on an iPad. Because the issues with Amaya and her being too much and things like that all could be true, but it just seems like there's the ability to communicate just doesn't seem to be there. The only people who seem to know how to communicate effectively is Chris. He was able to communicate his feelings. Iris communicated very well, and there's a few other ones, but it just seems like everybody else is just like, did you guys forget how to communicate as humans? And honestly, people have to remember these iPad babies and things like that, they're literally in Fiji on an island, no tech like that, no screens. You're actually forced to be a human and talk to people. I think they're struggling with that. Like, I think we're looking at this situation like it's normal, but I think we're literally watching people struggle with basic type of communication skills. So I'm not going to say that people aren't fair or valid in their reasoning for having an issue with Amaya, but the ability to communicate issues is just not right. And then on top of the fact, the ganging up and the things like that, it's just very inappropriate. Because I remember a time where we didn't have all these technologies. We had to go outside and play in our formative years. And I think a lot of that, and Marine and plus COVID, right? A lot of that has affected the way we're able to communicate. Well, Zach is a clown. So I'm going to take Zach out of it. Zach is a clown and he needs to be off the screen. That's what I got.
Yeah. And I think my main issue with the whole Amaya thing is like, give your feedback, but similar to with the Huda thing, I just don't like, I've never liked that, not even in real life. I don't like when people jump people. And I feel like they just jumped her. She was already crying. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, it's like, why do we feel the need to tack on more to it when the person is already down? So you want to keep telling them in a group setting how much? And then Zach, to your point, Seaway, is the worst of the worst, because when he was in her face talking to her, she pulled him to the side. He really didn't have much to say. He was just, bumping his gums and talking. And he used the forum, and once he saw a bunch of people saying things, now he wants to chime in and go in. And Ace is the worst of them all, because as Austin, when he was doing, finding his voice for the first time the whole entire challenge, he wants to, call her out and, tell her, well, maybe do you understand? I don't like that. It's coming off a little microaggressive. Thank God Brian stood up and said, hey, culturally, that's our culture, and that's I'll end on this last point, is that I think like we need to give people just generally grace. And I think some of these people in the house are very strict, Ace being one of them. And funny how he had this three-way kiss with Amaya during the heart rate challenge, but then you want to air her out in the next round. Yeah, I'm not for that. Because at the end of the day, you got to give people a little bit of room to be themselves. Everybody, nobody is going to show up exactly how you think they should. You think everybody's, I know everybody's not going to like my personality. There's things I'm going to do that's going to rub people wrong. You know what I'm saying? Give people a little bit of grace. And I think like I just want them to ease up off of her a little bit. She's a pretty girl. She seems sweet. Just ease up off of her a little bit. And don't you see her crying that you want to just keep piling on, okay, this, and this. So yeah, that's my last thoughts on Amaya. I think we
Can I say something?
Yeah. Final thoughts.
Yeah, I feel like if they renamed this season and the seasons after to Lost Island, like a lot of these problems would go away, because a lot of people get on this show not looking to find love. And I feel like that's the biggest antagonist to what is trying to happen in the show. So yeah, that was just my thoughts.
Can I chime in on that?
Yeah, go
Mhm.
ahead.
So I watch a lot of reality TV. I also watch reality TV that are in other countries like Japan or like Korea, things like that. America is kind of historically going to be switch up. Like they're going to promote switching up a lot quicker in American reality shows. So like you saying it should be less island and this and that. Yeah, that has a little bit of truth to it. But historically in reality shows, they've always switched up. They've always been like, I like you 1 second and nobody can come in here and kind of turn my head and nobody's really gonna turn my head and I can't have my head turned and then somebody comes that's just their type. after they seen like an Instagram pic of their ex that the producers casted someone identical, and now they're like, I never even liked you, I never reassured you, like it really can go left like that. And I think that's always going to be a constant that's never going to change. And we're never going to kind of have a show where it's like very traditional and conservative and people hold space for people. We're just not going to have that. People are always going to move snaky, and that's kind of what makes it juicy.
Can I make a quick comment? Sorry.
Sure. Hey, this is Jube.
Yes.
Welcome to the panel, Jube.
Thank you. So I just think that Amaya's on the wrong season of the show. I think everyone has pretty much said like the cast is completely different than what we've seen in past seasons. And in my opinion, a lot of them are just playing for clout, honestly. A lot of them are hypocritical. A lot of them are playing the game like it's Survivor, Big Brother, whatever. They're not as concerned, like as we see, like they're not really that concerned with genuine connections. So Amaya didn't fit into them playing the game where, okay, you don't show your emotions or anything like that. But if she was even on like last season, the girls stood up for each other. When Serena was like cussing out Cordell, they were right behind her, like, you go, girl, like Cordell, you fucked up, you did all of that. So Amaya's not necessarily, in my opinion, too much. I think that she's just not playing the way that they want her to play, where it seems to me like the girls are just letting the guys do whatever they want. And she'll call them out. She has no problem being like, you're not going to use me. You're not going to play me. You're not going to disrespect me. Like, fuck off. I don't want to talk to you anymore. And they don't like that because the moment that Ace sat her down, like she hadn't done anything to anyone. And he was like, hey, don't touch me. Don't come near me. Don't talk to me too much. You're not doing all of that. And she was like, oh, that's fucked up. He immediately had it out for her. So I feel like he just went ahead and kind of slandered her around the villa. Because I think in Jeremiah's interview, he said that he heard that she was super intense and he was kind of staying away from her. But then once he started talking to her, he realized that she was pretty cool and nice. So I think really the guys just have it out for her, or mainly Ace, and they're just not wanting to deal with her disrupting how they want the show to go.
All right. We're gonna save Taylor and Nick. Not Taylor and Nick. They are a couple rather, but no, we're gonna save Taylor and Alandria for the last. So who we want to talk about next? So we had Chris and Grayson, come through, and it just seemed like Chris is like, look, take me out of the triangle. I'm gracefully bowing out. I'm not interested in being in this, and I want to pursue my connection with with Huda and move forward. So what does everybody think about Chris, his statements, his particular stance? He also said, listen, I don't need I don't need this Love Island. I could be overseas playing ball right now. So who wants to go next?
Yeah, how you go?
All right, go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I think Chris is playing the game very, 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 very smart, because once Chelly chose Ace, it was like, okay, there's nothing I can do to get her to change her opinion. So why not just focus on Huda? That she's also, she's cute. Why not? So that's why I think he decided, okay, I'm not gonna keep pursuing Shelly. I'm gonna focus on that. And it was very interesting for me for Ciara to question Chris about Huda. Like, what? Since when Ciara care about Huda and who Huda dates? Like, it didn't make sense for her to question her. But I think maybe it was Shelly that asked Ciara to ask that, because it didn't make sense for us to be so invested in Chris and Huda relationship. It was like they could not believe that Chris actually liked Huda. Like, what? Why not? It was very, very, very confused to me. Yeah, I think Chris just need to lock in with Huda. I mean, there's potential that they can win. I saw a lot of people that they like them together a lot. a, a lot of people vote for Chris and Huda. So if they lock in and they are serious, be uh, they can be the second place because Amaya is going to win, of course.
You're holding true. Amaya for the win. So who's next? Who's next to talk about Chris and his connection with Huda and his disengaging from the triangle with Shelly?
Disengaging is kind of what you see a lot. They kind of say whatever they need to say to get in. We see that with Zach. Zach kind of being like, "Oh, like Amaya, you're fine. Like, you can yap until you're, blue in the face, and you can call me honey bun and sugar pie all day." And then as soon as you have the opportunity, I kind of was cool with it, but like, it is a lot. Like, okay, relax, sir. You just got here, And I know Zach is a friend of Miguel, which is Leah's partner from season 6. So there's a lot that people do to kind of get in the show. Chris is moving smart too. I mean, their kiss was fire. I was taking notes. I've never seen people kiss like that in my life. I think the producers did good finding somebody that was on her speed. And I just love that he tries to flirt and do all that stuff. And I hope he's not being a manipulator. And I hope they kind of can lock in, because like Jeremiah and Huda would have been fine if Huda didn't let her mental health create this like hallucinating thing of like people being out to get her. Like, she could have just like she all she had to do was go against America, go against the whole house, and her and Jeremiah would have been smooth sailing. But obviously she's young, and she wants to be liked, which is why she um sulks around the house all the time. Is like the way her narcissistic traits work. um if you're disappointed in her, if you don't like her, like that will hurt her more than telling her that she's a dumb effing, you know what? Like that will hurt her more. So um I think they're in for the win. And I don't like that Shelly didn't get to have her consecutive thing of like, oh, it's early days, I still want to get to know you and explore you. I hate that that got cut short. But you play dirty games, you get dirty prizes. So you kind of just have to take it with a grain of salt.
It's a good roundup. Who's next? NMTV, what you got?
Um, I don't have too much to say on Huda and Chris's relationship. I feel like Chris is very mature and he carries himself well. I'm just like kind of over Huda being on TV at this point. I feel like her being on TV this long kind of, or like her behavior that she showed in the early episodes, I just feel like it kind of makes it okay in a way because Jeremiah went home and he wasn't able to explore, and I feel like he would have been better TV than Huda because I don't know. People say that she's learning, but to me, it doesn't seem like she is. I feel like if she gets out of the villa early, she can learn more from her experience and just be a better like person, friend, mom, etc. I mean, I don't know about her relationship outside of friends and romantic relationships, but I feel like it would overlap as well. But yeah, I just feel like yeah, I'm not too keen on watching Hood on TV anymore.
Can I ask you a question? So,
Yeah.
why do you think America did not vote for Jeremiah to not be bottom three?
Sorry, I didn't quite understand that.
Why did America did not vote for Jeremiah to not be in the bottom three?
I feel like America was also unhappy with how Jeremiah handled the situation and also in the way that it was edited. It kind of seemed like Jeremiah wasn't doing anything or was not willing to fix his situation with Huda. But to me, it kind of seemed like he was emotionally frustrated with the whole thing. And then he just locked off and he just kind of gave up on it because he was just frustrated. But that's how I saw it.
Yeah, I think also people thought that he would get votes, so they voted for the people that wouldn't. And then it
Hmm.
turns out that they needed to like keep him, and they didn't even think about it. And I think America like is voting differently with that in mind. They're definitely voting for people that they want to instead of people that they think are gonna get votes.
Wasn't that
Exactly.
the vote that like the voting was broken and all kinds of stuff like that too? Wasn't there a vote where like the link was Like it was like they had to extend the voting because it was weird. And then we never even got the rankings. I feel like if Jeremiah was in the bottom, I don't think he was as close to the bottom. Like even if he was like the third bottom, I don't think
Yeah.
that he
The
was
voting
close
has been
to
janky this season. We
yeah.
even didn't get like the Twitter thing where like America can give their feedback and stuff. Like we didn't get hideaways. Like we didn't get a lot of the things that we usually get. So for someone who mentioned that like we have a couple episodes left, I'm like, there's no way. Like we haven't done the Twitter thing where America chimes in. We haven't done the hideaways. There's only been 2 dates. Like what gives?
Yeah, that vote has been really suspect. I'm not saying that it's like rigged, but it just seems really suspect. Like
Could be.
everything that happened with that vote was weird. I
Mm-hmm.
don't, and most from what I was seeing, everyone was anti Huda and Jeremiah. Like everyone was sick
Right.
of both of them. So I just feel like whatever happened with that vote, I also feel like production was trying to shake it up, but I don't think that they thought Jeremiah would go.
No, not at all. And
Um,
they kept Huda because Huda's good TV. Like people who have never seen the show are tuning in because her name has been buzzing. And like a lot of people who've never seen the show and don't really know the ebbs and flows of the show and just some of the etiquette are like having feedback about things that are like super, super normal. Super normal. Like last season, Leah stole one of the girls' guys and they're supposed to be best friends. And when she pressed her about it, like, what's your problem? Why are you upset? She was like, I'm fine. She goes, well, you're acting like you're not. Then when she tried to defend herself, she told her to shut the F up, which I hated seeing like on my TV, like someone kind of like who's running the show, kind of is a non-black person talking down to someone she considers her friend. So the whole friend thing and the mean girl thing, I don't think that narrative would exist if people really actually watch the show. Like people get snaked constantly and have to just stay in their little place.
All right. Seaway, any thoughts on Chris?
Yeah, there was a lot said. I mean, Chris seems authentic. He doesn't seem like a TV guy. As a sports girly myself, he does just give me like basketball player that was tall, got poached, came over, and is enjoying himself. So I think that makes him more authentic. Um, I do think he tried to go with someone that would be a better fit for him, which probably would have been Shelly. He peeped game that Shelly was playing around, and he's going with a girl, that at least he's having good energy with for a while, which I can't blame him for that. I don't think Chris is playing games at all. I think he's just dealing with the cards that he's dealt, and um, you definitely have to respect that. So we'll see. Him and Huda seem to be vibing, and I would just like to say that I think Huda has grown, because if them people would have played with me like that at that challenge, the way she stood there and took that on the chin, that's growth. Because personally, I would have probably crashed out and went crying like Amaya did. So, I mean, I don't know what people's standards are for growth, but I think that she took that well. She took the feedback. She's been trying to take feedback, and I think she did well. I think sometimes people make up their mind about people, and even when they do change, you don't want to even see that. I think a lot of people just want to be mad. They just want a villain. And now they're,
No, she's selfish. She just knows how to hide it better now.
even that, like people keep picking and choosing.
I agree.
Huda and Shelly are both manipulative, but people pick and choose who
mhm.
gets what. That's the
Yeah, that's their gameplay. They're part of the OGs. They think they're running the house. Yeah, that's their
that's the
gameplay.
reason why this
Mhm.
is such a hot topic, is because
Mhm.
people can't figure out why they're so divided. And they're so divided is because they're very similar. And that's the reason why people are fighting for their lives. I'm not finna do it. Y'all could be Team Shelly or Team Huda. They both are playing games.
I
So
agree
Agreed.
because they made a
Okay, so can I pose a question? Because I think there are
One
three
second
girls
first,
on the
because
panel.
wait 1 second. Jabay, I think you had something you wanted to say, because I know
oh
you.
yeah, I was just saying I agree really quickly because I have been anti Huda since whatever day she started freaking out. Was it like day 2 or something? I have been strongly anti Huda, and I was a big fan of Shelly. But like the more it's been going on, especially this last like Casa situation, I feel like it's very clear that Shelly's playing the game. Everyone's playing the game, which we know at this point. But even at the podium, Chris outright said, "Oh yeah, the plan when they approached me was that we're doing XYZ." So they're admitting that there was a plan to bring him back. And I don't like Huda, but I feel like it was a catch 22 for her in this situation because I guess the expectation was she would bring Chris back and then essentially be single and not do anything with him. And then Shelly could have him. Like, there was no plan in Shelly's mind, I think, for Huda after that. But then the fact that Huda and Chris started moving forward is offensive to Shelly now. So I really don't see what anyone expected her to do in that situation. I don't know if it's a genuine situation. It seems like it is. Like, it seems like Chris does genuinely like Huda, but I just don't understand what the plan could have done if it didn't fuck over Huda in some way or fashion. Like, they had a scheme. It just didn't go the way Shelly wanted at this point. So I think that is like a big part of what's driving the drama. Because they can't come out loud and say, "Oh, our plan was to game Casa and you messed it up." So she has to be mad about, "Oh, you're selfish and it's not for me and it's all of that." And it just feels very shady.
Yeah, and they know she's an easy target when it comes to pointing the finger. It's kind of like Amaya, so it's like people need to know what their things are and like protect themselves.
Yeah.
All right. Any final?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had a
I just wanted to
question.
ask.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Sorry about that, NMTV.
I just had a question to the girls in the panel. Um, what are your thoughts on the girls' code that is currently happening based on the fact that when they, even though this is Love Island, when they all came in, they all talked about girls' code. So if you guys were, let's say, part of this friends group in quotation marks, what would you be your feelings and how would you approach whatever is happening?
I I don't think I would be a part of this friend group. They're all fake. Well, most of them, in my opinion. Like, they use girl code. Huda's used it. Like, she was the first one. They all use it when it's convenient to them. And in a show like this, it's almost impossible to have like a standard girl code. You're all dating the same people at the same time. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, they all just use it how they want to.
Yeah, you can't
Um,
talk about gameplay, but you can say it under the guise of like, you're my friend, you're my friend. So yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
they're all manipulating one another. So it's not something that I mean, I know for sure I couldn't be on this game because I would be either cussing people out every 10 seconds or I just would like withdraw and not deal with it. Cause it's just, they're in a situation where like the outside rules of the world don't really apply to what they're doing there. Um, so I think that's what I would say. There is no girls' code. They're all manipulating each other. I feel like even the girls, not when they're going after each other's guys, like I think it's really sus that absolutely all of the girls, even after Taylor coupled up with Clark, they're still encouraging Alandria to go after him. I feel like everyone is just kind of
Yes,
pushing
that's
each
so
other in
messed
weird
up. So
directions.
messed up.
So
Listen,
yeah.
yeah, no, I would just say, not please. Let's try not to interrupt because it can get a little.
No, but that was pretty much my point. I don't think there is girls' code. It's made up over there, so I don't think it applies.
Can I just say two things? I'm sorry to cut her. I'm sorry to keep chiming in. I just agree. But the nature of the show, there is like a component of it being Friends Island. You need to create bromances. You need to create bonds because it makes you look good to America. It's part of like kind of working on your brand and your character and showing that you're like, girl next door, guy next door, like the all American that they try to put on the show. And in other seasons, like there was a season last season where Rob got blindsided and his friend Aaron cried, literally shed tears because his match got sent home. But to his own match, Kaylor, we've never seen that emotion. So a lot of the guys come on here to be cool with the guys, which is why we've seen Zach piling on because he's even like pointing at Nick during the challenge. Like, I did that for you, Nick. Like, you don't know Nick. Like, Nick doesn't know you. Like, they obviously want the approval of the guys. So it very much is Friends Island, but it's not genuine relationships. It's more of like, am I going to look relatable on TV?
All right. And last but definitely not least, Seaway, what you got? We know you are our resident girls expert. So what you got on this girls topic?
Yeah, as a genuine girls girl, and my record even on here will prove that, and in my life, this girls stuff is BS. It's honestly BS, and like multiple people said, you can't pick and choose. How I would do if I was a quote unquote girls girl on this island, I would make the friendships, I would do the things, I would try to stay away from set in stone relationships. So, like what Sierra has with Nick, or what like Jeremiah and Huda had. It's been very few examples of this, but yeah, like the super locked in couples, I would do my best not to, mess those up. But when you're on the verge of going home, we've seen multiple people like Amaya who are girls, right? Who have been forced to pull people who are kind of in situations for a chat to stay on the show. I mean, it's just the way it is. So people be picking and choosing. Alandria had to couple up with her friend man just to get back in the villa. It's all nonsense. And so I really just want them to leave this mess alone unless they're going to be consistent. If we're going to be consistent, it's cool, but you can't be talking about girls, but you telling Alandria, the dodo bird, that she needs to be running behind what's his face when he clearly done told her 5 billion times that he wants to be with Clark. I can't do it.
And she said she got dumped. She's like, I keep getting dumped. I keep getting dumped.
Miss Honey, please. I just need us to kind of just take a moment before we dive in. There's almost 8 people up here. So before, I know, we want to get our points off, but give the person a chance to completely land before you just chop right in and dive into what they're saying. Now, Siwa, are you done? Are you done summarizing your point?
Yeah, I think I landed. It's a bunch of mess. We can conclude it there. So.
Okay. And just the last thing that I just want to kind of put out there is like, I do understand the concept and the general understanding of camaraderie. There's the guys are getting together, and even Ace is running his own little minions over there. But I just feel like you can't lose the plot. And no matter how many seasons, how long the show is going on, the general plot of the show is to connect with a person, leave, and win the prize of $100,000. So yes, you want to make friends and, have a little fun along the way, but the plot is the plot. And I think we're starting to lose the plot, getting caught up in some of this girls, and some of these, tropes. I just think we need to just reel it back, and just, and especially if we're not even holding true to what a girl is, we are making it up as we go along and then kind of having a pick and choose style. Yeah, I think we need to let it go and focus on who's your connection, who you moving on with, are we in this to win this? Are we locking in? Are we closed off or no? Because we don't have much time left. Are we closed off? Forget about your friend. Are we closed off is what I think they need to be looking at.
Yeah.
Can I say something about that or no?
Yes, we're gonna have the final comments and then we're gonna move on to Pepe.
I just want to answer you, Sean, about what you just said. So, historically, the way Love Island goes, the people that end up winning are probably like sleeper couples that you didn't think would win. That's why Hannah got voted off, because they easily would have been a sleeper couple that would have won. Sometimes the people who create the drama and kind of make the show do not win. So you kind of, there's been boring seasons where people don't, like, it's just, I think a lot of people are thinking that they need to be closed off and do this and do that, and they kind of don't. Like, things can just go at a slow pace until the end, and it wouldn't really contribute to who is voted for, if that makes sense.
The one thing I just wanted to say really quick is my last point about the girl thing is this has been, and I feel like this was like a big part in the season. I don't really want to hear any of the OGs, or honestly any of them who were there for that vote, tell me what like the girl situation is until they come clean about what they did to Hannah, because none of them were girls to me in that. Like, they can't give a straight reason anytime. It sounds like BS every time. So until they can do that, I have no interest in the beef between like Shelly and Huda and who was wrong and who wasn't doing the right thing by the girl code, because I just don't understand the Hannah vote, and I feel like they're lying. So that was just the other point I wanted to put out there. Like, Hannah being voted out, I think, changed the season a ton. And she was the only one from what I saw at that point in time who was really moving towards like a good connection, to the point where to this day, Pepe is still like, okay, why did you do that to Hannah? And they can't come up with a real reason. So until they're real about it, they need to save it, because it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, 100%. And with that, we're gonna move on down. That was a great segue to talk about Pepe, because you want to talk about another definition of truly standing on business. Pepe stood on business for Hannah. He was like, yeah, I know what we did. I know what happened, and I'm pining for all of it. You know, he even friend zoned Andrina rather. You know, he was like, nah, I'm good on all of y'all. I'm only supporting Hannah. Why y'all kick off Hannah? That's what I want to know. Let me know what that's about. You know, so who wants to speak on first on Pepe and, you know, how he handles standing on business?
I will go first.
All right, Joe, go ahead.
I mean, me personally, I don't think he's done a business, because the explanation that Sierra gave, it didn't make sense. He didn't question it. Like, because by that logic, Sierra should go home, because she said that Pepe and Hannah, they were like almost close off, like they only had eyes for each other. Like, by that logic, Sierra also have only eyes for Nick. Many people, Taylor and Alandria, they only be the same couple. So by that logic, they also should be go home. So it didn't make sense. So I don't think he's tone of business, because he didn't question Sierra enough. The answer that Sierra gave, it didn't make sense to me. So I don't think he's tone on business. And also, I didn't like that he said that he didn't want to explore Adrina, that he wanted to focus on the blonde chick. I forgot her name. And then and then he said to her that he's not interesting. Like, bro, come on, bro. At this point, I think Pepe should go home and be with Hannah, because I mean, what is the point? I know that you are hurt that your girl left, but bro, if you want to stand on business, go home and follow Hannah. That's the only thing I'm going to say.
Okay, well, maybe this is his segue to do that. Who's next? Who's next on Pepe?
I just want to say I agree. I mean, I don't have a problem with Pepe, but at this point, if he's really just going to keep kind of like leading on new people, or the Casa girls, or Grayson, if he doesn't want to be there, he should go. Because I was telling someone yesterday, I was like, this was his opportunity to be like, yeah, now you sent home 3, like make a whole show about it and go. But at this point, like, if Hannah is who he's truly stuck on, like, he can leave. He's just taking up space. There's like 30 people in the villa right now, so stop wasting Grayson's time and just go.
I respect, if I can go, it's cool.
Yeah, go ahead.
I respect that Pepe, unlike Hannah, who jumped from man to man, even though Hannah did come out and say that her British king was kind of playing in her face a little bit, so she didn't think he cared. So I will give Hannah that. But I respect how Pepe really found something, and it's not just here for money, and it's not just here for all the things, and he's voicing that. I do think, though, that you can't have your cake and eat it too, which seems to be the theme of the night. If you're going to stand on business and really shut down Adrina and, you know, and Grayson and all the people, then you should really make a real stand and go home. And I hope he does that soon. Because if your heart is at home, it's worth more than money. It's worth more than money. You're not going to win at this point, because everybody knows that you really rather be with Hannah. So it's like you're not going to win at this point. So you should just go home. Who's the girl bye to?
Can I
She's
come
talking
now?
about Pepe. She's saying Pepe girl bye. We're gonna put that out there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But Sean, you're funny. Okay. Remind me, I'm gonna block you in a second when I get to the other thing.
I got it.
Oh, you know, I wanted to do it. Give her time. So as soon as I press mute, she being blocked. So just let me do it. Oh,
No,
damn,
she's
you got
good.
her.
It's good. I don't want you to lose the plot. Don't lose the plot like the Love Islanders are.
Dang.
You was on a roll. You was on a roll. I got you.
Like, don't play with me ever in your life. Yeah, so I feel like he should just probably just take a stand and just go home, because at this point I don't think he's gonna win. Logistically, you know what I'm saying? Like, logistically, if he wants to just kick it in Fiji, who am I? You know, I mean, I feel he's taking up a spot, but if he wants to just kick it in Fiji, cool. But you know, if you want to go be with your girl, go be with your girl. That's it.
Perfect. Who's next? Who's next on Pepe?
I was gonna come in. So honestly, Pepe surprised me because when he first came in as a bombshell, I thought he was gonna cause so much chaos in the villa. But him going 10 toes down in this channel and just showed he was very much in for Hannah. And also before, when he was with Hannah and she got kicked off, and those episodes before that, they started giving them less and less screen time. So it makes me feel that the girls and everyone kind of saw that they had a really strong connection and could go the long road, because even that recoupling or the voting off, they didn't really show us the footage, and that was kind of odd. So I wish they showed us like how they deliberated, but maybe we'll see it at movie night. But it just maybe it just wasn't making a lot of sense. But seems like they were kind of very tight with Amaya. But even if they were tight with Amaya, why did they keep Iris? So it doesn't really make sense. Whatever side you kind of approach it. But what do you guys think?
Can I chime in on that?
Go for it.
So Hannah in an interview said that her and Pepe, like, she didn't really bond with the girl. She wasn't really in the room getting dressed in the morning, waiting for her breakfast from Pepe. She would go downstairs, she'd make her coffee. She had a great bond with the guys. That's why you keep seeing Nick, Ace advocating for her, like, where's Hannah? Where's Hannah? Because it was something that the girls did selfishly. um, like I said, with Cordell and Serena last season, I don't even think they even made it official. Like, they were like a sleeper. Like, they gave us their moment of like, you know, you made your bed humping it. But for the most part, they weren't really giving us too much TV time. So, like, it's anyone's game. So Hannah said that her and Pepe a lot, when all the drama would happen, they would sneak away and kind of go off into the corner and have their own vibe. So I know that all like the big six and OGs are watching that, like, oh yeah, we got to break them up ASAP, because they're going to be the ones that America ends up falling in love with.
Yeah, but I think unfortunately for them, that's going to backfire, because they
Yeah.
weren't low. They did that and it was obvious that they sent home Hannah because her and Pepe really were building something real, and that was after she had another relationship that was a great relationship. And so that's why you don't cry for Shelly, Argentina, because Shelly, Sierra, Alandria, and Nick, the mean girls, okay? Destiny mean girls, all of them, they all did Hannah bogus. They're no better than nobody else. So no, I'm voting for Amaya. They're not getting my vote after what they did.
Wasn't that the same day that Huda said, "Oh, I'm kind of interested in Pepe"? That's what I remember the most from that. It was like a day or two before she all of a sudden wanted Pepe, and then
Yeah, Huda was part of that too. She's part of that too.
Anybody else on Pepe and his making his undying love to Hannah, who is no longer here?
No, I think he just should go home. Go home to Hannah. Hannah is waiting for him for round two.
Sending me.
For round two. Now without camera. That's it.
They can have a full comfortable moment together and hunching.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, no, listen, I respect him for saying what it is. I like that he called him out, but this has pretty much sealed his fate to pack his bags and go home. So, because he friend zoned Andrina, he pretty much, has been going cold with Grayson, and she's feeling it. So now he already told her. Now it's just more than plainly known So, like, what are you doing? Is this my goodbye? Like the song says, is this my goodbye? Because what are you doing? Like, what was the point of all of this? Are you done? He must be done. I think he's done. Because at the end of the day, you're making this, love, this bold statement of love to somebody that's going home. You done canceled out any connections. So what are we doing? What are we doing, Pepe? Are we packing up? And he actually surprised me. I didn't know he was going to be this loyal, So look, Hannah must got that good. She put it on him, and he's ready to get back and ready to her. I hope Hannah has not moved on, because we know that if there's one thing Hannah knows how to do, she can definitely, make an easy getaway and move on to the next.
Hannah licked that hand and he was gone. That's what I learned from this. Whatever Hannah's doing, she got it.
She does. She know what she's doing. She can,
But that's my frustration with the season. Like before, if you made a connection, it didn't mean you had a target on your back. That's why I call it Depression Island. It's like, why is it that everyone who makes a connection, they have a target in their back for elimination? It's very, like we said earlier, it's very much gameplay driven, and I don't like that.
Every season, that's every reality TV show. Every season, when people start to figure things out, the worse it gets. That's why we haven't had a single Love is Blind as good as the first season. If you watch Ready to Love, it got worse. It gets worse and worse and worse. All these shows get worse because Ace. It's very clear that Ace, Shelly, and the crew, Sierra, studied the island, and they studied it, and that's the reason why things are different. Yep. It's basic reality TV. This happens on every show.
Yeah, Ace came in with a plan, and I don't know about when Shelly and Sierra and the rest of them fell in, but it was clear from like day one that Ace had a plan, and he had stuck to it, and everyone has fallen in line with it for the most part. So yeah, he has them saying crazy stuff. They're like, oh yeah, like it's about exploring. It's not about making connections. Like you did that, you have to leave now. It's about exploring, and now they're like, you shouldn't explore. You should like lock it in. Like Ace is definitely like he's running game on all of them. I can't stand him, but I also like can't look away. I low key want to see him on other shows because that's what he's really auditioning for, in my opinion. Like he's trying to get onto another show after this because he just did his big one here. So
yeah, he's definitely the mastermind in a lot of these plots that are breaking out. But I guess what he didn't plan, and that's why I'm glad that he's getting shaken up a little bit, because he didn't plan on having this triangle with Shelly and Chris that clearly tonight has dissolved. But yeah, so he didn't plan on that. I think, and sometimes that's the problem when you get to game playing. You can't calculate everything, because he thought, I'm going to hold off, be reserved, have my boundaries. When I'm ready to lock in with Shelly, then we're going to lock in, and then she's going to be all ready for me. It didn't quite work out that way. It's not such smooth sailing, because they should have been the one theoretically to take it if they would have just kind of, gotten themselves together and been smooth sailing. Now we got Nick and Nick and Sierra already, that have chosen each other. Speaking of those two, we'll dive into them. What do we think about them? What do we think about how Nick has downplayed his connection with Alandria, although we saw what looked to be some sparks in their kiss? So what do y'all think? Who wants to go next on the Sierra and Nick of it all?
First, I think Nick and Sierra. I think Sierra knows the game. She knows that her and Nick are the end game, that they have the possibility to win. Now, from what's going on, I don't know if they're gonna win now, especially with Sierra. But I think so far they were a solid couple. And beside maybe it was Taylor, Alandria, between Taylor, Alandria, Ace, and Shelly, and Nick and Sierra. Between those three, one is gonna win. But now I don't know. I think maybe Huda is going to win. And I think Nick, when it comes to Alandria, me personally, I think it just seemed forced to me. I think production told them that people want to see you guys together, and that's why they did that. But I don't think there's nothing there for me. because Nick had 3 weeks to speak to her, to try to explore with Alandria, to do anything. He didn't do it. So now I'm going to accept that now he wanna do it. No, no, no. I don't do that. That's not true. It's not genuine and it's false to me. He should have done that maybe 2 weeks ago. I would be okay. I would go for it. Okay, that seemed real. But now it just seemed like production told them, okay, let's just shove them off. Let's do this one episode and that's it. That's why the next episode they stop. They downplay. Oh, we just friend Taylor and Sierra. They downplay like nothing happened. Like nothing happened. It's crazy. That's why it make me believe that production told them to do that, and then next day we're gonna forget about it. I don't even think they're gonna show that in movie night. I don't, because now production is pushing Nick and Sierra as the favorite to win, which is why they went on a date and now they are close off. Like it just seems to me that they have a higher chance to win. That they are pushing them to win. I don't think Alandria is going to win. I don't think Nick is going to go back to Alandria or anything like that. I don't think so. So let's hope Nick and Sierra don't win, and hopefully Sierra is out tomorrow night. Hopefully, of course, the winner will be, you guys know, Amaya.
I can tell you when everything went left for them. The reason why Nick and Sierra are never going to win, despite what production is trying to do, when Nick decided that he wanted to leave it open and had Sierra crashing out after he gave her that quick 30 seconds, and he, after all of that, still wanted to, I heard cat. After all of that, he still wanted to be exploring. That was the moment where he lost everybody. So to me, everything after that, him trying to explore after he did that, is fake. So they can pack it up. They can pack it up. It doesn't matter. Sierra's fake. He's fake. Yeah, 25 seconds. Yep. So no, like he should have locked it in there. If he had any sense and pride, you give a lady 30 seconds and you still talk about you want to explore. Explore what? Like you're cooked. You're done. I can tell you who's gonna get it. The mean girls, which includes Nick, are gonna mess around and have Huda win, and that's gonna make people sick. It's either gonna be Huda or here's another one option. I have a feeling Amaya may be able to get with Adrena Man, the way he was sticking up for her. Perhaps that's a connection for Amaya. Maybe Brian, is that his name?
Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Brian.
Yeah, maybe
Yes.
Amaya can link with Brian. And then you also have Iris and TJ, but they're boring as hell, and I think one of them is MAGA, so I'm not gonna go for that. But like that is or Taylor and Clark. But you know, Taylor got his back arched a little bit too much for me. I'm sorry, I can't vote for that. So I think that's gonna be one of the options for sure. But this whole Sierra and Nick, no.
Yeah, if Elon didn't come back from Casa, Nick would still be exploring. Nick has I think the only person Nick has said that he wasn't attracted to was Taylor, Clark. Literally anyone who comes into the villa, Nick is like, ooh, I want to talk to her. Ooh, she's hot. He was in Casa trying to, I think he was shocked when she went for Austin instead of him. Like he couldn't believe that. So Nick is just going for everybody. I don't know about the whole. I think he did find Alandria attractive and he didn't get to explore. I don't think that there's like a love story there for them, but I do think that if she wasn't as fixated on Taylor during their like brief coupling together, he would have allowed the situation to go further. I don't think that he would have been like, oh, there's no spark, if she wasn't like blocking that, like, oh, I need to go get my man, I need to go get Taylor, blah, blah, blah. But I also think that Nick and Sierra need to go ASAP, because why are they just like hunching in the room loud as hell every night? That's crazy to me. I understand that in other seasons, people were doing it with the covers off and all kinds of craziness, but they're doing too much. Like, and they're like, oh, well, I'm trying my best to leave, go to Soul Ties or wherever else everyone else has been going. Like, I just can't let them win. They're just starting to annoy the shit out of me.
All right. So who we got next up? Who wants to share their
Can I
thoughts?
go?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think I agree with what the a little bit of what the last speaker was saying. I don't think Chris really likes Sierra the way she likes him, because anytime that or all the times when she brings up things that are gonna happen outside the villa, or them forming a deeper connection, he kind of brushes it off. I think the only time they talked about life outside the villa was the date idea. But yeah, Nick has been trying to explore everyone in the villa. Um, yeah, he doesn't really show that he sees this connection going longer than it did. And even how he moved with Alandria when he was getting kicked out the villa and came back. He could have been like, oh, telling the guys, oh, I'm just gonna keep on doing planning this with Sierra, or trying to do this. He would have, if I feel like if Olandria gave him the attention that he wanted, he would have fully explored Olandria within Casa and not given a thought to Sierra. But because she wasn't personally interested in it, he didn't pursue it. So yeah, I just feel like Nick is there for a good time. And yeah, because even with, I think someone brought it up earlier on, kind of how he's like comforting Huda and at the same time throwing her under the bus in front of the whole group. It kind of seems like he wants to form like some form of rapport with her, so that maybe outside the villa, he could like form a connection, or be like hooked up with her friends or something like that. That's how kind of I saw it, because it was very weird how he was trying to comfort her, but then in front of everyone, he was like gunning for her really hard, because he said that, oh, you should have gone home instead of Hannah. So that was very two faced, and I didn't quite
Well, he
understand
said to
that.
her that you know that already. Like, you
Sorry?
know that. He said to her, you know that I voted for you twice. And she even said it, like, even though you voted for me twice, it's how you feel. So I think everyone's taking that night as like them not being transparent. But I also think it was a time for them to repeat things that they've already said. So he still was shady for that, but he did make it clear that he voted for her twice and she would have went home because of him. And she even said it like, oh, you voted me twice, but I still love you.
So you think it was just him bringing, like just posing a question and seeing how she responds?
Yeah.
Okay. It just seemed quite shady though. That's the only why.
What can I ask? Who say um the it was just a question.
Oh,
What
it
you
was
said,
me.
Joe?
I want to ask why there's so many, especially so many black women defending Nick. I don't get it. Have you guys see that? Like
Because
this?
Nick knows how to code switch and Nick has black friends. So like
What?
there was an episode where Elon kind of went against him and made the pancakes anyways. And he was like, he thinks things are sweet and things aren't sweet. And it's like when you use slang that black people usually use, the general population doesn't even know what the heck he's talking about. But then, as he's going to ask Sierra to be his girlfriend, he goes, I would like to formally ask you to be my girl. So he's very fortunate to like have black friends, kind of code switch and use kind of words that are more specific to the black language, like dead ass, sweet, stand on business, but then also can be with um Sierra and kind of be more like proper and use this like I guess proper English. I don't know. But yeah, he's very much like he's invited to the cookout.
I I want to be respectful. Listen, I don't know why. Host, give me 2 minutes, please. Listen, this is it's crazy the thing you are saying right now. The fact that you think because Nick says some quote unquote black lingo, that means that he's invited to the cookout, and because you believe that Nick dates black woman in real life, which I don't. You can look up Nick X, Google it on TikTok. He's a blonde woman with blue eyes, but it's okay.
He has black
Let's.
friends. Never said he
Oh,
dated.
it doesn't matter. So okay, by that logic, Donald Trump has black friend too, celebrity. By that logic, every
Oh,
person.
I was just
Especially
answering your question. You're bringing in your own feelings about like
no.
that.
I'm just calling out black women low racial self-esteem. That's it. You guys are living through Olandria. Oh my God, Nick Olandria. That it seems false. Can you
So
imagine?
forced.
Can you imagine black men online watching a show, and then there's a white woman that they believe like this black man, and we are making videos on TikTok to push them to be together. That's
It
crazy
would
to me.
never
Can I chime
happen.
in?
It's crazy to me. Can you imagine black men will be called coon, sell out, you hate your mom, but black women are allowed to get away with this. This is white men worshiper, which is a
Can I
culture.
chime in?
Yes,
But
sir.
we don't get to get away with a lot. So I'm just here for the women having their way.
Can I come in?
Go ahead, and then after that we have Autumn because she's been waiting on
Yeah.
the back.
Joe, I don't necessarily agree with you that Nick didn't like Orlando have some form of attraction to her, because like if you remember the first few episodes when they were blindfolded and told to kiss whoever they wanted to, like Nick went to kiss Olandria, and he's been showing strong attraction to her within the challenges by choosing her all the time, and even when they first coupled up, I don't think he's even complimented Sierra the way he was complimenting Olandria. And you might say that, oh, that is just sexual attraction, but even that, I think, shows that he has like some very strong feelings towards her, because I think when he first, because we can only compare with his other connection with Sierra, there was no that strong kind of urge to want to be with Sierra, and I don't think we can just call that sexual attraction and nothing more, because attraction manifests its way in different forms, I think. So, what do you guys say about that?
I mean, it's very, very easy. A lot of the white guys knows, especially if they go through the show, they know that if you act like you like black women or you couple up with a black woman, you will go very, very far on the show. It is they pretty much know it. Next season, you guys will see the fact that there's videos online, constant, bro. Nick had 3 weeks to couple up with Olandra, to explore with Olandra. He did not do it until he got dumped, and then they saved him and her to go on a date. Are you kidding me? So now you are saying that because he kissed her on challenge, everybody kissed each other on challenge, and they have chemistry. And Sierra has chemistry with Pepe. I can go on and on about many people that they have chemistry.
But
The
do you think
fact
the
that
reason why?
the
Sorry, I didn't
fact that
mean.
you are defending this, I'm telling you, a black man will not
It's
get.
not about defending.
No, no, no,
People can
no.
have their
Let me finish.
opinions,
Let me
but
finish,
be
man.
objective.
Let
Like
me
you
finish.
can't shut down
Guys,
people's
time out,
opinions.
time out. I don't want us to miss the plot. I know we have Autumn who's been waiting. So we'll try to pick this back up and put a bow on it within the next few minutes. But Autumn, I know you've been waiting in the back for a while. Any thoughts on Nick and Sierra? Anything you want to add?
Yeah, so I honestly I don't see it for Nick and Sierra just because like Sierra, I honestly don't think she's all in for Nick either, the way that she portrays it. I think that she is into Elon. And I also think that Nick is more so playing the game. I think he would have attached himself to Ola just because black women, especially the darker skinned black women, have been notoriously popular in these series, as well as like on their date with him and Sierra, whenever she would kind of like prompt him to like say his feelings for her, he wasn't really able to like say anything with his chest. Like when she said, you know, am I your dream girl? He looked down and went, and like he doesn't seem as invested into her. So I don't see it for them. But I also just want to say that to me is kind of crazy hearing that black people like Nick because of the verbiage that he uses and that he's invited to like this cookout. I think it should be way more about like character versus what him being in the in crowd of what it means to be Black. Like, absolutely not. But that's my opinion on
No,
that.
but we do appreciate on TV where historically they highlight the white people, right? That's why Austin's still there. That's why Elon is getting camera time, even though we don't care to hear what Elon has to say. And we would love to see some of the Spanish and other Black people get camera time as well. I appreciate when a white person comes on this show, they're getting camera time and they actually understand some of the nuances of the Black community. I appreciate that. Never said
I don't
that.
think
I said
slang
that's why
is
people like
nuanced of the
him.
Black community. I
Right,
don't
but I
think that
think
the
you're
way
thinking too
that
I
I
think it's
don't
very
think that
surface. It's not anything like political. It's very surface. I think the fact that he can code switch, he understands some of the nuances. There's video with him like being like funny with his Black friends, you know, listening to music. He's definitely a YN in his head. So that's all I'm saying. It doesn't mean that people should or shouldn't like him. It doesn't mean he's invited to the cookout. Sorry for saying that. It's just kind of just letting you know, like, oh, this is why he has favor because he has a little bit of seasoning. He's not like, even the way he said Audrina's name, he was like Adrina. Like he tried to pronounce it where if Austin spoke Spanish, he would say tortilla. You know what I mean? So those things you appreciate.
And
I
this
honestly
is
I think
why
that Nick.
1 second. Let Autumn finish. I just want to make, I just really want us to be conscious when we're like diving in. We can have dissenting opinions, nothing wrong with that, but we also have to leave room for people to have their POV as well as not just boom, give somebody a chance to breathe before they, finish. Go ahead, Autumn.
Okay, I don't think that that's Nick's appeal really. I really think it's a looks thing. I don't think that most Black people who watch the show is drawn to him just because he knows some slang. I really think that the community, I'm hoping that we have way higher like standards for entry or like acceptance rather than just, keeping it on like such a surface level, as well as like, I do feel like some people are like really excited about the idea of him being, I guess, sexually attracted to Ola
Mhm.
and wanting her. But honestly, even that I think is kind of low hanging fruit. And we should be looking at everybody's character versus, superficial stuff like that.
Can I jump in? Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to say, I personally, I typically like to, when people start jumping to like colorism or things like that, I personally like to wait it out and see if there's like a pattern of behavior that can say, okay, someone is a colorist or they're a racist or something like that, especially on these shows, especially that since they're edited and the options were given. I've personally never saw Nick as being down with Black people or like, I never saw that, but I did I also can't say 100% whether he's just like fetishizing Alandria or even like the Dominican girls or anything like that. But I do think that the Black women were excited, as you said, to see, oh, look at Nick, like he's into Alandria. On top of the fact that, let's be real, the guys are pretty shitty this season. And
Mm.
Nick is very charming to just about everyone. I mean, except Huda when he turns on her every once in a while. He's overall charming. He's very gentlemanly. He does all of the things that I think, regardless of what their races were, you would want to see the guys doing this season. On top of that, Olandria was getting like the short end of the stick, and she's a dark skinned Black woman. And this white guy is expressing that even in the beginning, he's like, oh, she's hot. I think she's hot, or whatever he was saying. On top of the fact, like his mom jumped in and was like, oh, I really want to see them do something. So I do think like a big part of it from the audience is the fact that they want to see the swirl, whether it's intentional that they're saying like, I want to see the swirl, or it's the fact that for whatever reason, it's like intriguing. You want to see how far this will go. I really have a problem with the code switching part. I really think it's more of the intrigue of, I mean, even when you think of like Love is Blind, like was it Lauren and Cameron? I do
Yeah.
believe that they genuinely were in love. I don't question that, but I do 100% believe that a lot of people were really intrigued by the fact that he was white and she was black, and she was like, you know, do they know that they're interracial? Like, oh, like I feel like that was a big part of the draw for people. So
I agree.
I'm not a fan of them saying like, oh, he was down with black people. I never got that impression. I think he's cool. I can't say that he's racist or any of that. I feel like I personally think Nick will go with anybody. Like you could bring an Asian, an Indian, whomever in there. And if he thinks she's hot, he's going for it. Cause he's not indiscriminate from what I've seen. So I think that that's just the way the cards played out. Alandria was the last one left on the island that he hasn't gone for.
Can I speak?
Yeah, I'm done.
Listen to some black women speaking about Nick is sickening. Like the desperation that a lot of black women have shown online is crazy. I could not believe it. Like Jesus Christ. It makes sense why we are at the bottom. Every day in my life, I'm saying, okay, it makes sense for us as a race to be at the bottom because we don't
I ain't at the
value.
bottom.
Can I finish, man? It makes sense to me because I cannot believe that you guys are. Have you guys watched the show? Nick literally like anybody that come in, every bombshell that come in, he liked them. So now he show interest in Alandria and he kissed her in challenge. Now he has no flaw, at all. He's perfect. Like the desperation. Now I want black men to listen to this and to understand. Every single time a black woman said that you hate your mom, and you just show them the video on TikTok of Nick and Alandria. It's crazy. It get millions of views, and most of them are black women that are pushing this interracial race mixing thing. It's crazy to me, especially for a group of women that always tell to black men that if you don't date black women, you hate your mom. By that logic, you are saying also that if Nick date Alandria, that means he hates his white mom too. Like it's crazy to me. I cannot believe it, and I'm glad that
Yo, 5 seconds,
That's too
please.
far
We
out.
need
yes,
you to
I'm
land your
glad
plane.
that yes, I'm glad that many black men are waking up and see the truth that black women love white men validation.
Okay, can I interrupt, Joe? Unfortunately, because I let this go 3 times, Sean, and I finally got a response. I feel like, unfortunately, Joe, the call is coming from inside the house, and you need to redirect your energy. You need to actually be asking yourself, why are black women online so excited that a beautiful black woman is getting this attention from somebody outside of our race? I'm not saying that you have to like it, but it has gotten to the point where black women are told time and time again that no one wants you, only black men want you, and even they are always dating outside of their race. And so, yeah, you're going to see, as a response to that, a lot of people who maybe were pushing this Nicolandria thing too far. Maybe they were reaching for the stars. But Joe, you seem like you're a critical thinker. I would be actually thinking critically about this. Perhaps it is a response. Perhaps it's a trauma response from the way that we have been treated. I don't think that black women are just always fetishizing over white men. It is statistically untrue. Black women date inside of their race more than any other race. They date black men and want black men more than anybody. So I don't really want to hear that. I think you're focusing on the wrong thing. Your energy is on the wrong thing. I really feel like you should move on from this. You don't like the Nicolandria thing, just move on.
Okay, can I address one thing you say? The black women.
Final reply, Joe, and
Sure,
then that's
sure.
it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The thing you said that black women they are the least is not by choice. They have done study about this. Most non-black women are not interested. Most non-black men are not interested in black women. That's why. It's not because you guys are race loyal or any other that. That's a lie. That's it.
I didn't say that. So you're proving my point. You're saying that other races are not interested in black women. So you're actually putting black women down in that statement. So of
Get
course,
him.
because people are saying things like what you just said, they're going to be happy that a non-black person was interested in Alandria. And I don't think that's true. But the fact that came out of your mouth so easily, talking about other races
Yep.
just don't like black women. You see how easily that bullshit came out your mouth, and you got me cussing. And you
Got
want
him.
to go here and talk about what people feel about dating a white man? Please get the hell on, Joe, because you actually done pissed me off with this one for real.
Rightfully so.
Please move
Can I
on.
say something too? I mean, we're gonna move on. I just want to also
Miss
say
Honey,
this.
Miss Honey,
I just want
please.
to say this, Sean. I know you're not like
Wait,
a
Miss
fan of me
Honey,
chiming
Miss
in.
Honey. Like it's too much. It's getting chaotic. So in the middle of it, we just have to breathe. And I know everybody has points and differences of opinion, and I get that.
But you never do that to Joe, only to me.
Miss Honey, I'm talking to you now. And you have repeatedly interrupted, and I've asked you time and time again not to do that. You know, and I don't want to take you off the panel, but you have consistently jumped in. You've consistently done that. So I just kind of need us to level set. We're also at a point in the debate where this is not even about Love Island anymore. It's about race relations. So it's tense. Sometimes we just need to take a moment before we dive in. We just had a heated exchange between Seaway and Joe. Let's just breathe a second before we just go to dive in and just, get to punching and sharing our opinions. So that was my goal to do, to just take the energy out of the room before we start fighting with each other, or I have to just nip the topic totally. So now you can go, Miss Honey, share your points, 1 minute, and we're about to put a nice little bow in this conversation.
Oh, thank you. I thought you were gonna just move on. Yeah, no, my feedback's always it's not from an emotional place. It's always gonna be just corrective. So Joe, I see you watching the show and I'm the same way. I'll be like, "Ooh, this is only happening because this and that." But for you to not be able to have a side to you that does pedestalize black women, I'm just concerned. And that's all I'll say. Let's move on.
Got it. So, my final comments on the whole commentary. I like to think that this is all attributed to white supremacy. So before we start fighting inside, let's not forget the plot. Again, that's going to be my central theme throughout our conversation. Let's not miss the plot. So don't have white supremacy having us fighting ourselves, because not only do black men do it, do black women do it, black men do it as well. Black men chase validation from white men and white women. So this is a result of colonialism and white supremacy. So, we don't want to have the ideas and the systems that are in place getting us to fight amongst each other, because now we're missing the plot. So I think collectively we might disagree on why we are supportive or not supportive of the Nicolandria of it all, but I hope we can collectively agree that white supremacy is created to keep us divided. It's keeping us in a hierarchical system that has us fighting to be seen, fighting to be wanted. And I think Black women are deserving of love just as Black men are. And I think we should be in support of who is loving them, who is loving them the right way, who is going to give them the tools and the love that they need to move on. We can now navigate. We can just quickly, this will probably be quick, but to Austin and Jaden. Anybody have comments on them?
I don't know. That kind of ruined my mood, to be honest.
I can talk about them.
Thank you. Go ahead, MTV.
Right. So with Jaden and Austin, I think Jaden is definitely not into him. It was clear since the jump. I think she was into Nick, but I think she saw how chaotic Nick's journey has been since the beginning, so she didn't want to be a part of that. But you can see that she isn't really into Austin. She doesn't have that, like, she's not like all over him. She's not getting very giddy. She just seems very monotone like him in a lot of their conversations, and I feel like if she was coupled up with someone that she was very much into, you would see a different side of Jaden. Yeah, I don't think this is her personality type, like to be very monotone. I think she has a very giddy side to her, and we're not seeing that because she's not coupled up with someone she's very interested in.
Yeah, I don't know if, I guess that was probably why I talked about them. And, again, I know this will be I just wanted a quick segue, to be honest, out of that, that drain that we were circling. But, yeah, I feel like I don't know how much he likes her, how much she likes him. I think they found a landing place in each other. So I'm just interested to see what anybody else thinks about their connection, if they're going to be able to go the distance.
I mean, I think Jaden saw Austin as an easy target. I mean, nobody was checking for Austin like that. So she saw him as a way to stay in the villa. I think that was a smart move. Because if she chose Nick, now she's going to have to compete with Ciara. And Ciara's going to win. So Austin, nobody's checking for him. So now, since nobody's checking for it, there's no competition. That's the easy spot to be in the villa. That's all.
All right, who's next?
Next topic.
But before we close, anybody, any thoughts?
We're not going to talk about Nick and Alandria?
Yeah, we're going to
Okay.
get there.
Okay, cool.
Nick
for
and
Austin and
Alandria,
Jaden.
I thought we were done with that.
Oh, sorry. I
Yeah.
think you understood what I meant, even though I said the wrong thing.
I'm gonna be
you meant,
honest.
do you mean Taylor? You talking about
Yeah.
Taylor and
Uh-huh.
Alandria?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. They're going to be the last. They'll be the last.
Perfect.
I just want to say, I'm gonna be honest. I literally forgot about Austin and Jaden until you just mentioned them.
I'm surprised you have them on your thing. That's crazy.
During the game yesterday when they like panned to Iris, I was like, oh yeah, like she is here. And I literally have forgotten about like Iris, TJ, Austin. There could be someone else. I've kind of forgotten about Andrena until she kind of popped back up for a second there. They've really been kind of making people invisible the past like week or so.
Yeah, I almost low-key forgot about them too, but again, the inner conflict that was going on with me and the conflict on the panel just brought them to memory. So yeah, we can move on. I think, who do we have next? I think we did Pepe. Trying to figure out who's the next. Is there anybody else that we didn't talk about? Somebody
Just
help me.
Taylor. I think it's just Taylor and Clark left.
Taylor, Clark, and then the Alandria of it all. All right, so this is the peace resistance. I would just ask again, we might have some dissenting opinions. Let's just give people a room to land. I would ask that as people are talking, just say I'm done, so that the next person who wants to chime in can feel free to jump in, and that you have, made your point and you're good. So the highly debated Taylor and Alandria and Clark of it all. So, we saw Taylor make his declarative statement at the end and stand on business and say who he wants. I'm of the mind that I kind of think, he finally stood on business and said what needed to be said. It's probably a little too late, because I do believe that he did some stringing on of Alandria. However, I do think she's accountable for not reading the room and not seeing the signs, and also missing her chance with Jalen. That was everything that he seemed to be everything that she said, she wants in a guy. Southern gentleman, nice, wants to her, intentional. But yet and still she's holding on to Taylor like Taylor's holding on to Nick's neck for a hug. And I really think that she should have read the room and saw it when she came back and was in her new coupling, and they woke up in the house in the villa, and Taylor brushed right past her to go give Nick a hug. So who's next? Who wants to talk about
Can I
their
start?
thoughts? Who's this?
Jubei.
Jubei? Yes, you can go ahead.
I just want to say a lot of things on Alandria and Taylor. I mean, I was really I didn't. I know a lot of people were going, oh, there was slow burn. And then some people were like, he's not into her. I really was just reserving opinion to see. And it became more and more clear, like, regardless of whether he was into her or was a slow burn, like, they just weren't getting anywhere. And it just wasn't going there. So eventually, like the Jalen situation, it was just like, girl, what's happening here? Like you could tell, like once he said, I'm not attracted to her, and Ace was like, get your head in the game, and he just popped up, put on his cowboy hat, and came out and was making her breakfast and stuff. And then as soon as Jalen left, Taylor literally went back to just being like a mute, just kind of like literally hanging out on the couch, doing nothing, saying nothing all day. It was pretty clear to me. And so it really hurt me. I know people are saying like Alandria, like she had to get it all she was holding in. And I get that. Like I 100% get that. But it really hurt me to see her go out like that when she's been going out for almost a week now, sad over Taylor. Like the moment that he picked Clark, she needed to step back. Like once he matched up with her, the fact that she was still holding out like the hope, and I do blame some of the girls a little bit for encouraging her, because I do get that like when you're on the island, you're isolated, like reality doesn't feel the same, so you're probably going to make decisions that you might not normally make. So maybe she was just grasping onto Taylor for whatever reason beyond me. She needed to step back once he was like, I want to couple up with Clark, this is the decision I made. I really don't understand how he was able to lead her on for the past several days in the villa, saying that he's still trying to connect with her and explore her. It just doesn't make sense. So I just felt like she needed to, at that point, like if she was going to crash out on him, that crash out should have come either days ago or nothing at all at this point, because I feel like she set herself up for him to come back at her the way he did. And I don't really think that he like won in terms of that he was making great points to her, but he kind of won in the situation where it was like, okay, in the eyes of the villa, like he was able to come back and be like, okay, well, I choose Clark then, like whatever, like I'm not here for you. She really kind of sent herself outside, but I'm also disappointed because it was controversial, but on the night when they saved her, I felt like they should have let her go home. I didn't really see it for her to be able to connect to anyone new. She was just going to go through what she went through at this point. And now she's just looking kind of crazy because she feels like she put in so much work. She needs to like see it through, which is false. But unfortunately, a lot of women fall into that. But she really just needs to let him go. There's no one coming in to the villa for her. She needs to let the whole countryman thing go because it's really just kind of setting her back. I I think she needs to. I think if she doesn't go home tomorrow, it's just going to be a really long, however, like what 10 days left for her.
All right.
I'm done.
Okay. Thank you, Autumn. NMTV, I believe you're next.
Yeah. I just wanted to kind of follow up on what the last speaker said. Maybe we might be missing something in terms of the type of men Olander attracted to, because it seems like she's attracted to men that are emotionally unavailable. I say this because during her relationship with Taylor, it seemed like she was very comfortable being in the situation that she was in, because even from the jump, when I was first watching the first few episodes and people were like, "Oh, Taylor doesn't like her," I was like, not really. Maybe like she just or he also likes relationships that kind of build up slowly. But seeing how he moved with Clark and Olandria still like giving him 100% even when she's seen how he's moving with Clark, kind of shows that maybe she's also about the chase and likes the chase, because when Nick was all 100% about her, she was not. She kind of like dismissed it completely, and when Jalen came in and he was like, "Oh, I have eyes for you," she wasn't really interested in pursuing that as well. So it kind of seems like she prefers or likes this kind of like tug and war, like this back and forth thing. So what do you guys think about that?
Can I go?
Miss Honey, I think you said you wanted to go next.
Thank you for remembering, Sean. Yeah, I like what you said. My take is going to be very out there. So I talked about the dynamics of the house. To answer your question about like whether she likes the chase in this, I think the producers are kind of having daily debriefs and saying, you know, if you got matches, make sure you don't close them off because you never know. And someone like Pepe is closing them off and not thinking 2 seconds about it, where somebody like a Alandria, who I'm gonna say, like, she's the oldest sister, so she might have like that I always get what I want, or people do what I tell them to do type thing, where Taylor is just trying to show her, like, I'm not doing that, which is like why he was like, oh, Clark gives me a childlike feeling. And she goes, but are you a child? It's like, why are you challenging him? And my next point is, um, so that's why I think she's keeping it open. Like Sean said, you know, he's already kind of made it clear, and she's still gunning for him. It's just like the cognitive dissonance is crazy. Like, she can't make that connection that it's over, because in her mind it's just like, how could it be? Like, how could somebody not choose me? I'm Alandria. I'm hot. Like, what? Um, so yeah. So the other thing is, like, listen to Black men. Like, I think I have a lot of sympathy for Black men in the sense, or men in general. Sorry, not Black men. Men in general. We project so much on men. We expect them to give us closure, say what they feel, know how to be a good communicator, be chivalrous, get the flowers, be romantic, and some people are just not that. So we're seeing Taylor get to really enjoy being low effort, not being the best communicator. Yes, he spun a little bit of web, but that was kind of like gameplay. And she made her point where she was like, Taylor would not be here if it wasn't for me. And I think that is the point that's really getting at her, not the relationship. She feels like she didn't play the game correctly, and she always kept him together because the women feel like, kind of in the way that women uphold the patriarchy, they feel like they have to keep Nick, Taylor, and Ace together because they create such a great vibe in the house. And I think that's such an unfortunate thing that she's kind of protecting, when she needs to be more selfish, because that's what the game calls for. You have to be selfish. You have to think about yourself and your match and your longevity in the show, not about like friendships staying together. So, you know, him saying his feelings, and, you know, even that joke he made in Casa Amor, where he was like, maybe you're not liked. Like, listen to what men tell you. Because a lot of women fall into situationships where, like, a man is saying one thing, like, oh, you have a good job, that's why I like you, meaning like he doesn't really like you, he likes that you have a good job. So Taylor's avoidant in that way, where he's not going to communicate, and that's why she's spinning her webs and spinning her wheel and spinning, because like her personality trait is that she is the older sister. She is a leader, she does make things happen. You've seen where Taylor gave Huda like a breakfast, and she goes, what you gonna do? You better say thank you to him. Like, it's like her energy is a lot. And for him to say, I don't feel like I have to be on my P's and Q's when I'm with Alandria, I can just relax with you. Like, that is teaching me just to listen to men and create a space for men to be themselves. Now, the flip side of that is Clark is not as like easy as we think she is. I think she has a little bit of a Landry in her as well, but because she got to see how things have gone, she's got to come in on a sweet spot. But she's going to be ready for him to stand on business as well. And we're going to see, is Taylor going to rise to the occasion? Because in that moment that he was being called out, him taking a stance and saying, I choose Clark, was a way to get back at Alandria's points, and that's usually what avoidance do. You tell them, hey, you hurt me, you disappointed me, that made me sad. And instead of them seeing is that, oh, let me not do this again, let me meet my partner's needs, they say, oh, you're challenging me, you're disappointed in me, I'm not good enough. Well, look, I choose Clark. You know what I mean? So that was kind of sad. Like, that was so sad. But he's been checked out for a while. When she was gonna get eliminated, he was so cold, which I think suits that avoidant piece. But her still holding on, and her Seaway said it earlier where she was like, I don't get it. Like, it's not clicking for me. I was like, I agree with Seaway, because not only did he dump her a million times, she verbalized that he dumped her a million times. So at what point do you take your agency back and say, this chapter is closed, I'm not letting him dictate? Because the reality that Taylor is even being the one that has to allow people to kind of wait on him for the next move is crazy to me, because he's such a child. You saw how he be arching his back and doing his little dances. Like, he loves to play, and like, I love that about him.
All right. Anybody else who's got an opinion on the Taylor Alandria Clark of it all?
Yeah, I will go.
Go ahead, Joe. Please redeem yourself.
I think when it comes to Taylor and Olandria, I I just wish that Taylor were more honest. I just feel like since nobody, as we see on the show, I don't think any other women were interested in Taylor like that. I don't know if I'm mistaken, but I only think Alandria was the only one. So he only stayed focused on that because he didn't have many options. So until then Casa came and Clark were interested in him, and then he dropped her immediately. So he was using her to stay in the villa. I think that's something that I don't like, and I didn't like that he did that. But he has the right to choose who he want to be with. Taylor and Alandria relationship, to me, it looked like a friendship relationship. I didn't see any cute kiss, anything. The way they kiss each other, I mean, it seemed to me like, I don't know, it seems so forced, so like, I don't know, it's just weird the way they kiss each other. Like, that couple didn't make sense to me. So I'm glad that that shit ended, and hopefully Alandria, maybe it's too late, baby, because we only have maybe less than 2 weeks left. I mean, who else Alandria gonna get with? There's no more option for her. She stay loyal to Taylor. She Jalen got sent home. It's just Alandria is not trying enough to me. For me, she's not trying to stay to me. In my opinion, I think she's just there. To be honest, I will be okay if tomorrow she go home. That's my opinion. I think they save her so many times. She keep talking about Taylor. Even when she had a conversation with Zach, she still spoke about Taylor. I'm like, oh my God. Her and Taylor, they didn't have sex yet. So why she's so attached to this guy? They didn't have any sex, anything. I don't get it. This cowboy is like, come on. To be fair and to be honest, Taylor is corny. Let's be honest. Taylor is the least attractive guy in the villa right now. I will say, no homo. Like, come on. It's not like Taylor is this handsome guy. Like, I just don't get it. I don't know why Alandria see in Taylor. I don't know why. I don't get it. Hopefully when she come outside and see the truth, then maybe she will realize that, because she has so many options and many people like Alandria. Like, seriously, they want her to find love, but she's stuck on this guy. Like, I just don't get it. I mean, maybe there's some witchcraft, maybe some voodoo that Taylor did. I just don't get it. It's scary to me the way Alandria is so attached to Taylor. I just don't get it. That's it.
All right.
Did I respond?
Go ahead.
Sorry, the witchcraft got me. I think first off, I mean, I didn't dislike Taylor initially. I don't think he's ugly. I think he is awkward and a little goofy, but I feel like for the right person that can be like endearing. And I think in the beginning, a lot of people thought he was like really funny and entertaining. So I'm not going to say now, just because I'm not a fan of him, that I think he's like hideous or like an ogre or anything like that. I think he definitely went too close to the sun. I dislike him because I think he's more of a coward. Like, he needed to communicate the moment that he realized, yeah, it's just not working. He needed to communicate that to her. But I also feel like Alandria set herself up when she came into the villa very clear. I want a country cowboy. And she said that, I feel like she said that repeatedly, like every episode. Where's my country cowboy? I'm waiting for my country cowboy. All I want is my cowboy. So in a way, like, she kind of made it where everyone knew, like, okay, she's not going anywhere from Taylor. She's not going to explore nobody. It doesn't matter. No one's taking her seriously with the other guys. Her only chance was Jalen, and she didn't take that seriously enough. I also think like she has some level of like a control issue when it comes to Taylor, because he's obviously very inexperienced with women, in my opinion. Like, he definitely is more green when it comes to like dealing with women or dealing with relationships. And I feel like a part of her felt internally like she could kind of control this relationship because she's like the pace. And I feel like for a certain point, she thought that she was in control of the pace with Taylor, not realizing that he just wasn't into her. And Ace and whomever else was kind of coaching him into how to keep her like on the leash, especially when Jalen was involved. I mean, at this point, I think Taylor needs to go because I'm over him. Alandria needs to go. Unfortunately, I think Clark, like, I have no real feelings about her. I feel like there have been some moments where editing make it feel like she was kind of laughing or something like that. Who know? I don't know if she was laughing or not, but there have been some snarky-ish moments. But I feel like, honestly, she just got caught up in the crossfire, to be honest. But all three of them need to go, in my opinion. None of them are winning. I don't see a path for them at this point. No one's coming for Alandria. If Taylor's not eliminated from this last vote, he's going sometime soon. And it's so late in the game, I don't see who Clark is going to match up with or anything like that either.
I didn't go. I don't mind going.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think people who think that Alandria are being lied to are unfortunately missing just major things that I think multiple people now have pointed out. It's up to them to see it. Alandria and Taylor both were with each other out of convenience. I think Alandria was with Taylor, because he was easy to control. He was the safe spot, something that she could come back to, something that she knew would be easy for her to deal with. Taylor was with Alandria because she chose him, because he wanted to stay on the island, because, she was, easy enough to get along with, things like that. They both were together out of convenience. That really all it was. Like, you cannot tell me that. And if Alandria really thought that Taylor was like all about her, then she has bigger issues. That's actually like a way bigger issue. Yeah. And if you got, like Woki said, we remember when Taylor said, I'm not attracted to Alandria. And Ace is like, sir, you better get on the good foot. You dumb? You stupid? Pretty much. And then ever since that conversation, he was trying to go along to get along. And so, yeah, I just really don't see it. And I'm starting to think that Alandria actually has a bigger problem, because she created all of these expectations, unstated expectations and narratives in her head that she wanted to go with. And that was evident when Taylor voted for her to go home, told her he really didn't want her like that, and she was still being Delulu. So many women go from relationship to relationship, to relationship, being delusional, putting it all on men, and that is the reason why they don't get changed behavior. And for me, I it's hard for me to hear so many women say, it really scares me that I'm seeing so many women say Taylor led her on and turn Alandria into a victim. Because if y'all are doing this in y'all personal lives, you're setting yourself up for extreme failure. Alandria had way too many opportunities to be not delusional. So that's really scary to me. So that's really all I can say. Do I think Taylor, is perfect? Absolutely not. But I think it was pretty clear for anybody paying attention that both of them were with each other for not 100% the right reasons. And now he's with somebody that's a little bit more natural for him, and we'll see where it goes. Honestly, though, the gag is I think he likes Nick more than he likes Clark and Alandria. Nick is who he really wants. So this is really a non-conversation. That's it.
You wrong for that. You wrong for that last part.
If Nick and Taylor paired up, I might take them to the end. I'm not gonna lie to you. They would be the most believable couple. Nick and Taylor, or Ace and one of them, but definitely Nick and Taylor. I would vote for it, because I mean, at this point, what else have we seen? Like, he wasn't Nick was spinning Taylor in a circle, like when they were in the bedroom and all kinds of stuff. They're definitely there. But no, I agree with you that I do think Alandria has like deeper problems. And I don't think it's necessarily like, oh, she's crazy. But I think I've seen plenty of women who are just hanging on to a relationship for whatever reason, or some guy, and it's delusional. You're like, he's not treating you right. He's not doing that, but you're holding out hope. And I don't even think I believe that there was hope. I think that she truly just felt that she had come to this point that she was like too hard-headed to turn back, because once it came to the point where he has a new connection and he's ignoring you completely, he's saying that he wants to explore that, you needed to separate. Like, you just needed to let it go and back up. The same way that they told Huda when Jeremiah and Matt and Drana, they were like, Huda, don't even talk to him. Like, respect that. Don't, just leave it alone. And Alandria just kept going. I feel like she even tried to one-up Clark at the postcard game, because she was like, I don't even know if he told you that he was still exploring me. And Clark was like, yeah, he did. I feel like she was trying to have a moment there. Like, I feel like she was really just trying to go down with like, everyone needs to go down because I'm going down now. She went out real sad. It really hurt me to see that.
Can I chime in?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Autumn. Or is that Jube? Babe? Who was that?
Oh, that's Autumn. It's me.
Autumn. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I totally get what everyone is saying about Alandria being kind of delusional. But I also think if we think about like some things that she said in the beginning, it kind of like shapes the way that you, I guess, see like what she did later. Like, she said that in her past, like, people have kind of like sexualized her. Like, she's a curvy girl. She's like very beautiful, obviously pretty like sexy when you're like looking at her. And Taylor took a completely different approach. Like, he wasn't super physical with her. He wasn't like super touchy. And I think that instead of her seeing it as we all did, which was he didn't have that kind of desire for her, instead she saw it as, oh, he's like really wanting a mental connection with me first. Like, I'm safe with him. And so I think that that made her feel as though like they were actually developing like a bond, and like actually like Jalen coming in, even though I think he was her type as well. I think she felt like it would show a point of like, I'm going to choose Taylor despite this guy checking all my boxes, being much more mature than Taylor, and like showing and like really saying like, I'm here for you, doing all these things that Taylor didn't do. I think that she thought still being so like loyal to Taylor would really like cement them. And I think that she was really confused with Taylor, because even after he did choose Clark, he was still like kind of leaving little breadcrumbs for Ola, saying that he still wanted to explore, saying that he wanted to kiss her and things like that. So it's like, although, yeah, she should have had discernment and was able to like see like, okay, he's saying certain things, but his actions are showing something completely different. I think in her mind, she really wanted to believe that like he was a safe connection and he wasn't somebody that was just, looking to be physical with her, and was actually looking for a connection that started with friendship first. But I will say, that's the last thing I'm gonna say, is that the in the game though, I do think that the way that they started talking about it at the end, where he was saying you wanted me to move for you and all of that, that did sound like that came from straight up gameplay. So I don't know where it changed in the middle of like their connection to like more of a strategic thing. But I do think the beginning was her just feeling like maybe he was safe than other guys that she had dated before.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess when it comes to this, I'm just of two minds. And but like I could see in the beginning how he was kind of letting her believe, she would throw something out there like, oh, you're, I like to, I'm a slow burner. And he was like, yeah, me too. It's kind of like he was giving her enough to grasp onto the straws for. And then as their relationship dynamic built, I guess he started to, you could see him starting to convince himself more of maybe could this work? So I see that part. I think the part is where I needed Alandria to wake up, because we as the viewers were privy to things she wasn't privy to, right? So it's already, we can't ignore that it didn't shape our thought that he had a conversation with Ace about not being attracted to her. So as much as we want to be objective about that, we really can't, because we have that information. So we can't necessarily hold her accountable to that, because he hadn't shared that to her. Now, where she did need to wake up, and where I started to just get a little frustrated with her, was once it came down for you to pack up your bags and go home, and he was voting between a girl that he met at Casa 24 hours ago, and then fast forward to him choosing her, and you getting kicked off the island, but then they saved y'all and brought you and Nick back as a couple. Like, at that point, that's when the point came where you needed to wake up. Why? And this was the point that, like, you know, that I've been debating a little bit with some people that are like a little bit like, no, he's breadcrumbing her. No, he manipulated her, blah, blah, blah. He's lying to her. What? Like, he voted you off. He said choose. He was faced with the choice. Choose between Clark, who you just met, and Alandria, who you've been building a connection with since you've been here. He chose Clark. Like, I don't know how more definitive it needed to be, and why we're still not saying she needs to wake up. Why there would be no way that somebody I met 2 weeks ago has sent me packing back home on the next flight smoking, and I'm going to come back and even allow them to explore a connection with me. Why is she still talking about this? Why is she still having conversations with Shelly and Sierra, and they're all just patting her on her back and, yeah, babe, I get it. Like, I couldn't believe he did it. No, the same feeling y'all had when y'all saw your girl about to get shipped out, but now she's back. Remember who was responsible for that? It was Taylor. So that was his choice. So I think, like, why do you need to be rejected so many times? I just feel like that's like, why do you need somebody to tell you no? How many times you need to hear no before it's like clicks in? It's like, oh shoot, they don't want me. If you don't want me, then don't talk to me. You know, that's the part where I'm just like, I need Alandria to kind of wake up. I see Miss Honey, you said you wanted to share. You go ahead.
Yeah, I have a personal question to ask you, if you don't mind. Have you ever been in a situationship?
Yes.
Sometimes that, like, two minds of, like, I know this person's not meeting my needs and they're maybe giving me vibes that they don't, but then they also breadcrumb me. When you don't have that awareness, you're going to stay in it for a while and you're going to look crazy. Like, I know my friends were looking at me crazy when I kept talking about the same things over and over. So I hope that answered your question. But the other thing I wanted to say is, I noticed, again, it's all American show, all American cast, whatever. When it comes to Black women, they are so like, you see people like Austin, Jaden, Nick, they come in and they're themselves authentically. Amaya comes in, they're themselves authentically. When it comes to Black people, Shelly, Alandria, they are so not wanting to be that, like, angry Black woman trope, that they kind of mute themselves and hold themselves back. And I think that hurts the experience for them, because they're not able to be their authentic self. And there's always that, like, knowing in their mind, and in a lot of contestants' mind when they go on shows. So I think that's kind of why she waited till that night. Um, but I don't know. She might just have a control issue, and she wants to have the outcome she wants, even though it's not clicking.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hear you on that, and I think, like, even in any situation, whether it's a situationship or relationship, whatever it is, you're doing whatever. If you a side person, you have to know when to hold them and when to fold them. And if you read the signs, right? If the person doesn't respond to your call, or you have a conversation and the person is like, yeah, I'm going over with the next person, that's when you just gracefully bow out. And I think that's the point we're at. And I just don't want her to keep going to him for multiple chances for him to keep rejecting her. To me, just like kind of like what Joe said, listen, I'm a guy, but like for me, seeing a dude like Taylor got two women willing to go toe to toe for him, two women that are showing up looking like Alandria and Clark. Like, why? Like, why are you giving him that shot to reject you? Like, come on, I need you. I just need you to be like, yeah, he don't, I don't even want to be in his orbit. And if you want to win, it's not going to be with him. And at what point do you want to win? if you're going to keep getting embarrassed? Like, at what point do you want to win? And I think, like, come on. He did. You want to, like, somebody said you're not gonna. I just don't understand. Like, she's not. Nothing's good's gonna come out of any of this. Like, nothing good. She's just gonna keep getting embarrassed. And then she had that big speech, right? I've been doing everything for you. She had her, wait in the exhale moment. I've been doing everything, and you gave me nothing. Okay, so I hope you got it off your chest. And now I really don't want to hear anything about you and Taylor anymore. Unless you're telling me you're packing your bags up, I don't want you to talk about Taylor anymore going forward. Build a connection with Pepe for all I care, but I need her to move on from Taylor. Anybody have any other remark?
Yeah, Sean, I'm right there with you because I saw a comment in the chat about like some people aren't acknowledging the misogyny. I led with saying, and I know I think Taylor created this situation once he realized that he didn't want her and he kept leading her on. I think that he definitely has a large portion of the blame, but I'm a woman and I've been there. I've been in situationships. I've been on the other side where I've probably led someone on, all of those things. Like, you do have to have a point where you have to be able to look at your actions. And that's just part of like human awareness. Like, look at your actions and be like, maybe I'm not doing the best thing. And okay, she couldn't see that he was breadcrumbing her. She's in a different situation. I agree. The moment that the dynamic changed, she needed to bow out and let it be done. Like, I just don't see any way to explain around it. She's Alandria's just holding on. Whatever her reasoning is, like, we're probably not gonna know. She probably doesn't know. She really held on for too long and she's embarrassing herself. And Taylor is responsible for some of that, but at this point, like, he has what he has with Clark. He's not going. He's already like played it up with her. And even the guys are like, "Ooh, he stood on business." So now she's gonna just have to like walk around the villa with everyone looking at her sideways, because obviously all the guys are like, "Oh yeah, Taylor did his big one." He was never gonna speak up. He was gonna lead her on until she walked away from that situation. And I do feel like you need to be accountable for that part where you need to decide you're gonna walk away from something and be okay with someone telling you. If someone rejects you, that needs to be the one time. And I feel like she's giving a lesson for a lot of women. Like, don't let someone tell you they don't want you twice. If you feel like someone doesn't want you, they probably don't. Like, Taylor could have pulled, as rude as it was, Ace straight up told Amaya, "Don't touch me, don't call me babe, don't do none of that." Taylor did none of that. Amaya straight up told Ace and everyone else, like, she has the smoke. The minute you cross me, you disrespect me. The minute she felt like Zach or Austin was acting strange, she immediately was like, "I feel like you're acting strange." I just really have a hard time believing that Alandria sat there and has felt all these things about Taylor and just sat there and never thought, maybe he's acting this way because he doesn't want me. It's really giving that she either was holding on for this game or she is completely delusional. I'm not saying that you need to go crash out every 5 minutes. I know Amaya and Ace are both polarizing, but they're giving like the counteraction of, there you have options. Like, Amaya has been single pretty much the entire game because anytime some guy plays in her face, she's like, "Absolutely not. You're not talking to me. Zach, you're not moving the way. Like, what's going on?" Alandria sat here for like 3-4 weeks and just like watched him do nothing, and then was like admitting in the game, "You did nothing for me this whole time." So it's like, okay, so you knew he was doing nothing and you still were sitting there. Like, it's just really not adding up. I really just don't see it.
Any other? We about to do final remarks on
Yeah, I just wanted to reply to what she said. I really like the points that you made. I think it's something that everyone is reiterating when they're like, "Yeah, like, it's not clicking for me. What is it she get?" I think the producers are literally in their ears, and it's like they're getting pep talks and debriefs and kind of feedback about how the weeks are going, voting, how to move forward into the weeks and stuff like that. That's why they take breaks on Wednesdays, etc. Um, I just think she's a concrete thinker, because you need to have some sort of self awareness, some ability to be able to see the forest through the trees when you get, like, when you're in a situation like this. And because it's a pressure cooker and it's one of those things where, like, there is currency in being, like, in a love triangle or being likable, she doesn't want to show that side to her, or she's just still thinking like, well, it could go left, he could come circle back to me, etc., etc. But like, it's just dead in the water. I feel awful for her now that like everybody's pointing it out. Like, it's just so sad.
Nice. Now, last thing we're gonna say is any final thoughts and who are you rooting for? About 2 to 3 minutes. I know NMTV, you said you're about to leave, so do you want to do your final remarks before you go, or you want to just head out?
Sure, I can give my final thoughts.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think I'm not rooting for anyone right now, or I don't think I'll vote for anyone just because I'm not too fond of this cast in general. But I think the two options for winners, I would say one is either Huda because I feel like she's just made this season in terms of how she's acted. She's like one of the biggest reasons why this season has been a hit. So I think just because of that, she has a very strong chance to win. And I just feel Nick and Sierra because they closed off very early. So I feel like those are the only options for winners.
All right, appreciate you, NMTV. Who wants to go next?
I'll go.
All right, go.
I'm not rooting for any couple that exists currently. I am individually rooting for Amaya just because she just feels like she's the only real person at this point. Which I mean, maybe last year or another season that wouldn't be like what I'm voting for, but there's just no one on this cast that I really, or not no one, but next to no one on this cast that I can really get behind. And the few people that I feel are just being themselves or being honest and real are not actually lucking out in any couples. But I do want to see Amaya do well. I feel like she's gotten like the short end of the stick throughout the show. Love her or hate her, I just don't feel like she's deserved the amount of like vitriol that she's gotten. And yeah, like she cries easily, and even if she doesn't cry easily, like it seems like they're out to make her cry sometimes. Like I don't really know. And she seems to be like trying to be upbeat and bubbly and still defends all of the girls as much as she can, despite them just appearing in the edit, like seeming to just stand by. So I don't think she can win at this point because she's not in a couple, but that's who I personally, whenever they say who's my favorite girl, that's who I put because she is my favorite. For the guys, it just feels, I don't know. At this point, I think the only person I could say maybe Brian, but that's because I know literally nothing about him at this point, and he seems to have stood up for Amaya. But I mean, every time I like one of these guys, they do something weird. So I don't know. I don't. I'm just kind of waiting to see what everyone else wants because there's not any couple I can get behind right now.
All right. Who's next?
I'm gonna say Austin and Shelly. I don't really care if a black couple wins this season. Like last season, they duplicated what Leah was. Leah was Middle Eastern from Calabasas, LA, Persian, and she gave us a show. She ran that place. She called everybody out. She was able to kind of like speak on a lot of things. Like there was a point where she even said like this girl was crying and she's like, it's giving white woman scared. Like don't do that. Like she immediately called out certain things that were happening and we loved her for that. But she didn't end up winning. So it's anyone's game. But I think definitely my Nick Sierra and my Shelly and Ace, I love them. I think they put in a lot of work for the show, for the producers, for like giving us a show, even though it became very serious island and depression island. Um, so yeah, that's where I'm at. And Amaya, like the bag is waiting for her when she leaves, so she doesn't need to get the money, but it'd be nice if she did.
Nice, good roundup, Miss Honey. Who's next, Autumn or Joe?
Yes, sir. I think if it's a couple, hopefully Amaya couple up with somebody. If she couple up with Brian, I will go Amaya number one to win. If there's only way to win, you need to be in a couple. I will go with Chris and Huda. I think Huda, she's the season. Every time I'm on TikTok, people are talking about her. If either it's bad or good, she's the topic. So for me, I think if it's not Amaya, Huda and Chris, they need to win. I don't want Nick to win. I don't want Ciara to win. I don't want anybody else to win at this point, because last episode it just showed me who is real and who is not. Regardless of what you think about Huda, at least she's entertaining to watch. At least she's real for the most part. She apologized and she's trying her best, yet they're still talking about her. She cannot do anything wrong. And for the lady, Ciara, Shelly, you guys save Huda. Now that you guys save her, that means that you guys forgave her. Now is changing. If you forgive somebody, you need to allow that person to grow. You cannot keep bringing up the past. Jeremiah this, Jeremiah that. Shelly, do you want to kiss Jeremiah or what? Like, seriously, stop bringing up that man. That man is happy right now. He got many followers. A lot of women is on his DM. He's not angry at all. Let's move on. So, Amaya, number one. If no, Huda and Chris. That's my two option only. Please.
All right, Joe. Thank you. We appreciate you, and you're gonna plug Amaya if you don't do nothing else. All right, Autumn.
Yeah, I think going for if Amaya maybe couples with Brian, I think that would be cute, like a friendship win. Even I'd be down for. But if it's a couple, I'm definitely Huda and Chris. I think that Chris is really mature. I think he has like an emotional intelligence that helps really kind of balance Huda out. Although I feel like Huda actually has shown a lot of growth and she's only been there a couple of weeks. Like she started off, a little off, like very verbally abusive, like not able to regulate her emotions. However, in these last couple of episodes, we've really seen her like one take accountability, be able to manage how she's feeling and talk to people, apologize, not like escalate situations like that conversation with her and Chris about how she was feeling about Shelly. She came at him like very respectful and didn't like take it to that next level. Like they were able to actually talk. So I really like those two together. And I really like the growth that I'm seeing from Huda as well, even when she is held accountable by other people, which I know probably like makes her uncomfortable. Like she's 24, so I get it. So that's the two I would go for. I go for Huda and Chris if Huda can maintain this pace of growth, or if Amaya couples up with somebody, I definitely go for her as well.
All right. Thank you, Autumn. And Seaway. Seaway, you there? All right. I don't want to reach, but I think she might agree with some of your sentiments, Autumn. She might be rooting for Huda a little bit too. So, but I don't want to speak for 100%, but I think she, might look for a good Huda redemption arc. Yeah, who am I rooting for? I get on Joe a little bit, but I want Amaya Papaya for the win. I want to see her walk away with the cash. I just like her energy. I like her spirit. I like her authenticity. There's something about her. She's a pretty girl, and I just want to see her win. And I want people to stop bullying her. I want people to stop seeing her tears as weakness. Like she said she thinks that's a strength. And I would agree. Being open and willing to, share your feelings and emotions is nothing wrong with that. I do think you have to pace yourself. So I do understand that. And I think you have to be measured. But I think as always, you should be who you are. So that's who I would love to see win it. I would be enthused and excited to see her walk away with the money. But other than that, I don't really have none of these couples to root for. They're stressing me out. Let's see what the next few episodes bring. I'm excited to see on Thursday. I can't wait for Thursday. It can't come soon enough, so we can see who is packing their bags and out of here. I'm looking forward to a couple of people packing it up. Right now, there's too many people in this house. I need them to pack it up and go. TJ and Iris, I'm sorry, my biases get in the way. I don't care. I'm ready for them to pack it up and go home. So and along with anybody else that's on that doesn't have a connection and that's annoying, they can pack it up too. But I appreciate everybody. Thank you to all the panelists for sharing our views. For those, on the rewatch gang, it got a little spicy, but just like a family, we found a way to come back together. We found a way to get on the same page and agree to disagree on some topics, but have good conversation. So I hope everybody enjoyed the live tonight. Thank you for all the commenters. As always, you are the panelists that we don't see, so we appreciate y'all commenting and lighting up the chat with your different opinions and views. We appreciate y'all, and let's just keep checking in. Kojo will be back. He got me tonight. I think he played a little trick on me. I feel a little bit like Alandria. I was left out here fending for myself, and I'm not really happy about that. So I need to understand where we went wrong, Kojo. But all jokes aside, appreciate you all. Have a good night. God bless, and take care. And thanks for everything.
Little black book, you know what time it is.